Hello, Dynamite fans. I am here to give you your weekly sneak peek of what is coming up this Monday, March 7th on The Experience. First up, we're going to have Venom number 35, Legacy number 200, and it's the Jock Virgin variant. How cool is this cover? We're also featuring Batman and Fortnite 0. Number 1, signed by Christos Gage. There's only 50 of these in the world. Get them while you can. If you're an Alex Ross fan, you're going to love this. Justice Incorporated, number 4, and there's only 5 of these in the world, and this is number 2, and it's signed in gold by Alex himself. We're going to have these books, Virgin covers, a mega kit, a statue, and so much more. So please come hang out with us this Monday, March 7th at 6 p.m. only on The Experience. I'll be here with John and Rex and Robbie. We're going to have a great time, and hopefully you will join us. Hope to see you then.
What is up, everybody? What's up, PCP Army? Welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome to Rockin Robbie Live, coming at you live from the Huntsville Attic, Studio A, here in good old Huntsville, Alabama. And it's 7:03 on a Sunday night here. It's March 6th, 2022. How is everybody doing? I am super excited to be here tonight. I just got done watching the Blame Fable Tonight show over on Instagram. Highly recommend that you check it out. Their guest tonight was Jasmine from Geeks Unleashed. Absolutely a fantastic show. I've never seen The Killer, but I definitely want to now. 100%, so everybody check that out. We are the official after party of the Blame Fable Tonight show. So, PCP Army Bad Batch, everybody, station, thank you for being here tonight. What's up? We got Brandon from Comics Kings. He's got Matt Fraction, Terry Dodson on his show in an hour. I'm still going to be doing my show. You can always join whichever one you want live, but you can always check them both out on the replay. So, no hard feelings, Brandon. But what's up? We got Billy in the house. We got Twitch in the house. Two Gun Pedro. Pop, pop, boom. How you doing? We got Eric D in the house. Darkseid says the Batman just, like go see it and shit. Batman as a horror movie. Our Ariaga's in the house. What's up, John Stout? What's up, Adam? What's up, Tim? What's up, Nova69, dudes? What's up, Big Herm? Great show today, bruh. Trade Paper Dad's in the house. The artist formerly known as Jesse Say What Station. How are y'all doing? Atari's in the house. Third Rail's in the house. Zach's in the house. CTA Frank's in the house. How is everyone doing today? Yeah. Yeah, the big talk of the toast in town. The big talk in the toast in town. Oh, man. The big talk this week, of course, is the Batman. We'll be doing a Batman movie review coming up. We got a great show, actually. We're going to be talking about our favorite comic books of last week. We're going to be looking ahead at what's coming up in shops this week, including the DC sneak peek. I'll be giving a spoiler-free review of the Batman. I did a spoiler-filled discussion over at Verno's channel, The Cerebros, with Jelani, Verno himself, and Bullseye Bob from Everything Comics. So you definitely got to check that out. We got a Marvel in the 80s coming out tonight. We got a Drunken Master review. That's the next film on my journey, my Kung Fu journey. Top 5 movies 77. We're going to look at X-Men Episode 8 from the animated series, The Unstoppable Juggernaut. Lots of fantastic stuff tonight. But this show is driven, fueled, if you will, by your questions, your thoughts, your comments, your concerns. Get them in. What do you want to talk about? Let's chat. Chat. How is everybody doing? Two Gun Pedro says, RR is always killing it. Thank you. You're always killing it. What's up, Spilio's in the house? How is everybody doing? I do want to say that you can follow me on Twitter if you're so inclined to do so at the Rockin Robbie. Join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, you might as well join us there and follow us there. And on Instagram, I do a live show now on Instagram leading into Big Herm's YouTube show, Let's Talk About It Remastered. I do that on Wednesday nights at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. I show off the comic books that I bought for New Comic Book Day, usually some back issues and some new comics, and then I sing a song or two. And then that's just the way I lead into Big Herm's show, because as a thank you to everybody in the Bad Batch, and just leading into my shows and all that kind of stuff. So I really love those dudes so much. Got distracted. What was I saying? Find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com. Podcasts will be returning soon. Patreon members have access to the unfiltered video version of that podcast, unedited. So check that out if you're a Patreon member. And by the way, if you're not, you can check us out at patreon.com/PCP and support the channel like these fine PCP patrons right there. Or drop a super chat tonight, which you never know what's going to happen with the super chat. We're still trying to collect money up for the Milestone Compendium, so we can add some Milestone in the 90s bits to the upcoming show. We're probably about $30 away from that. But what's coming up here on the channel this week? Lots of fun stuff. Of course, you can always check me out tomorrow at the EXP for the Comics and Collectibles show. But all of that aside, you can visit dynamicforces.com, enter Robbie at your card if you want to buy something. You will receive 10% off with that code. But join me at the EXP tomorrow, and then right after, March Madness continues. We kicked it off last night on Dylan's Horror Show with The Entity. March Madness continues tomorrow night on PCP Movie Night, 8 p.m. Central Time. We're going to be talking about the Michael Mann classic, Manhunter. That's right. And then we're continuing March Madness this Saturday on Dylan's Horror Show with Dead and Buried from 1981. Never seen this movie. Very excited to check it out. There is the full lineup for March Madness. You can see we are in the thick of it now. We're getting it going. We've just gotten started. A great lineup this year. So Manhunter tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time, 7:30 p.m. Central Time on Saturday over at Dylan's Horror Show, Dead and Buried. We now pause for station identification. All right, so how is everybody doing? What's up, Circumstances? How you doing? What's up, just some rando? If you say anything bad about Drunken Master, we riot. You don't have to worry about that. Tonight, we are drinking the Hard Mountain Dew. This was a final parting gift from Mike. Mike went off to do a tour with the Deads and Darkness. So Mike's crisscrossing the country for the next 2 months. But he left me 3 of these Hard Mountain Dews to try on the stream. I said I'd try them on the stream. So this is what we're drinking tonight instead of the typical beer. This is the regular zero sugar Mountain Dew flavor. I have this one. I have the cherry one and the Baja Blast. I have not tried these yet. And I didn't take the watermelon one because I knew I wouldn't like it. Smells like Mountain Dew. Tastes like Mountain Dew. All right, it kind of tastes like Mountain Dew. It's not bad. Obviously, it tastes like a wine cooler Mountain Dew, if I really want to get technical with it. Oh, Duke lost to UNC? Damn. Mike, what's up? Haven't seen the Batman working until it's on HBO Max, middle of next month. Will save me a ton of money. Makes sense. Hey, we got We got a massive super chat from Spilio. Milestone mission completed, my friend. You are right, so thank you so much. We really do appreciate that, Spilio. Spilio, we really do appreciate that. We've reached the milestone goal, so I will now get the milestone compendium, and we will now start adding in milestone in the 90s segments, and I've never read that stuff, so very excited to check it out. We really do appreciate the support from everybody. You help continue to keep the dream alive, so thank you so much, Spilio. So how is everybody doing? If you've seen Batman, we're going to be talking about that in a little bit, but what else is going on in the world? What do you want to talk about? What's up, Double S? How is everybody doing? As soon as, what do you guys want to talk about? Let's get a topic conversation out, and we're going to kick off the show again, because it's already been kicked off several times, but it's time for the first 5. That's right. We no longer do the first 6 and the final 9, because Bueller has, in fact, asked me to continue on the tradition of the first 5 and the final 5. So that's what we're doing, and we're doing it my way still. We're going through my Blu-ray collection right now. We were in the O's, so we got Ocean's 11 here. Really like this film. Steven Soderbergh. Freaking love this movie. I don't have the other 2. I don't really like Ocean's 12, but I do like Ocean's 13, but I wouldn't mind a set with them together. Never saw Ocean's 8 or whatever that one was. Then we got The Omen. Now, this is part of a box set, but they are individually cased. Our rules state if they're individually cased, they count individually. But anyway, we got The Omen. That was one of my favorite movies of, 75 or 76, whatever it was, when we did that for the top 5. Continuing on, we got Damien, Omen 2. Love this film as well. Also, a favorite of mine when I was a kid, Omen 3, The Final Conflict, with Sam Neill as the Antichrist Damien. And the often misrepresented, I would say I think it's a made-for-TV movie or whatever, but The Awakening, Omen 4, The Awakening, the little devil child's a girl in this one. That's kind of the big thing. And that's the first 5 tonight in honor of Bueller, our man who is trekking off, starting his journey cross-country, like this week. So, station to Bueller. Placeholder, what is up? Hey, Robbie. Thor 25 is having guest writers. Is Cates leaving Thor? No, I don't think Cates has any plan on leaving Thor anytime soon. He's about to launch into the whole Thor versus Hulk thing, and I think Thor and Hulk, he's on for a little bit longer. I think we're going to get at least 2 more years of him from Thor, probably, but we'll see. I don't know anything about that, but the guest writers maybe have to do with the fact that since it's 25, they're probably boosting up the page count, probably got some backup stories or something, but I don't know that for sure. Well, I love you too, Spilio. Thank you so much. This hard Mountain Dew's not that bad, y'all. If you like Mountain Dew. I'm afraid to say what I think of Batman, says Circumstances. Interesting. Mike says, saw Bueller's Bus, pretty rad. Yeah, it looks amazing. Looks amazing. Trade Paper Dad has not seen Batman yet, going this week. I'm going to be very spoiler-free when we get to the Batman bit. Della is her name in Omen 4. Thank you, William. Yeah, so Thor 25 is a milestone issue. Hell yeah, that's pretty figured out. I figured that was something like that. Figured it was something like that. Dr. Jones. Isn't it an honor for Bueller to have us continue the first 5 and the final 5 here? I think it's amazing. Bueller got that whatnot money. That's right. He's like, we don't need the first 5 and the final 5 anymore. So there you go. Bueller is on a dope adventure, man. I swear he's going to be on Good Morning America. I just hope when he's on Good Morning America, he mentions me somehow. Figures out a way to be like, oh, the support from my friends, my family, Rockin Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers. Hey, Fable's in the house. Rockin Robbie Live, the best damn pop culture show on the YouTube station, everyone. Station Fable. Dude, great show today. Jasmine, great guest. You guys, I haven't seen that movie. You got me wanting to watch it. So that seemed really exciting. It was a really fantastic show. I just dipped out at the beginning of the movie review, and I came back when y'all were talking about your favorite characters and your ratings. But really great show tonight, man. Y'all hit it big. And I am proud to be the official after show. We're the after party here. That would be amazing, Robbie. Fingers crossed. Yeah. I just, I'm sure out of everybody, I get the name drop. I'm very excited because I know he's going to make his way down here. Because if he wants to visit every comic shop, he's visiting mine. And yeah, I'm very excited for that. La da 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 da. We got a really good show tonight. We got 2 movie reviews. We got Marvel in the 80s. DC sneak peek. Very light week for DC this week. I haven't really looked at the other companies yet, so I don't know if it's a light week all the way around. Though I do know that Red Room Trigger Warnings issue number 1 is out this week, and I am beyond excited about that. Wu-Tang wants to know, am I the only person in the world enjoying the Thing miniseries? And Chamaro's in the house. Station Manny. No, I don't think you're the only one enjoying it. I wasn't necessarily liking it after the first issue. I am picking them up. I just haven't bought the last issue yet, but I pick up every Thing series just because the connection to the Fantastic Four. So I'll sit down and I'll figure it out. We'll read it. Robbie, you need to find a way to get the PCP logo on Bueller's bus. Well, yeah, I need to get some, I want to get a vinyl sticker or something that you can put on there so that when he visits me, I can give it to him and he can plop that sucker right on there. And it would be the proper one, you know, the blue and red one, not the blue and yellow one that says PCP! Spelio says, when is it not a good show? You're right. It's always a great show on Blame Fable tonight. I gotta blame Fable tonight on some of my show and tell that I got prepared. We got an awesome show and tell because we also got Two Gun Pedro coming through again. This is 3 weeks in a row. We have some awesome AOKs from the community station. Really appreciate it, y'all. It lights me up when I come home from work and I'm like, well, time to get back to work. And then I see a package and I'm like, oh, it's like Christmas. It's like Christmas. So thank you all so much. We really do appreciate it. Yeah, man, really pumped for Red Room. Really pumped for that. Walter Mosley is a great writer. Welcome, Tucky. How are you doing? Who's Walter? Is Walter Mosley the guy doing The Thing? There was something that fell off in the first one. And I'll be honest. I think I've been overly critical of some comics lately. So I'm trying to just experience more. That's why I'm starting to try to cut more things off. I think Nick Spencer's Spider-Man kind of really fucking fucked me up in the head for a second there. And there is a lot of things that, anyway, that being said, basically I think I've been really critical on some books that probably deserve it, to be honest with you. So I guess, fuck that. Who cares? I'll always be honest. No, there was something that didn't click with me in that first issue of Things, so I got to reread. I want to read it all. I mean, I picked them all up, so. We all have that thing that we'll buy no matter what. And for me, that thing is Thing. And Fantastic Four. And other things. Iron Man. Not Iron Man. Why did I say Iron Man? I meant Aquaman. I thought of Aquaman and I said Iron Man. But it's this hard Mountain Dew, guys. It's getting to me. But yeah, like Aquaman, Fantastic Four, those are the ones that I will buy no matter what, pretty much. I think that's about it, though. Yeah. Everybody's saying what's up to each other. Y'all are just the brightest lights out there. How sweet. Bless y'all's hearts. I love y'all. Cinemark, stop putting Dylan in theater jail. I'll tell y'all something. I'm just going to tell you something. I don't know the in and outs of the situation. I just know Dylan's perspective. But knowing what I know about Dylan and just the vibes I get from Dylan, having worked with him weekly now for over a year. Wow. I think that Dylan probably to that movie theater is their biggest Karen. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think that I honestly, because I've worked at the theaters, right? I think that they got Dylan's picture on a fucking wall in the office. And when this dude shows up, they're like, do whatever it takes to not let that asshole in. I'm just saying. Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know. But what's Dylan not telling us? What has he done in that theater? He could have got caught doing something in that theater. You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody tries to get a little freaky in the theater every once in a while. I've seen it. I've done it. You know, it happens. Anyway. It's the best kind of insane nonsense, says Wu-Tang, talking about The Thing. And we got a super chat from Comics King Station, my brother. Much love. Papa Boom. Look at him trying to pay me off, thinking I'm pissed off that he scheduled a Matt Fraction, Terry Dotson interview in the middle of my show. We're not mad, Brandon, but we appreciate the super chat. Yeah. In Star Wars, there was this guy, Lando. Let me tell you about this other dude, Brando. Not from Star Wars, not from any wars, but let me tell ya, he can horse divorce. Horse divorce was the way that I read hors d'oeuvres when I was a kid. That's what I think when I think of Comics Kings. Stop reading comics. I don't understand what that even meant. It wasn't an insult, it didn't mean to be, but it sounded like it was. Maybe that's subconscious. Maybe that's just my insides talking, but I don't want to be talking while I'm not walking, so I'm stomping all over this motherfucking talking. What? That didn't even make a bit of sense, but that's what you get for $4.99. All right. There you go. Dylan was about to get bugged. Do you see last night Dylan tells us the story about him at Cinemark, and it's one of the same theaters, I think, or I'm just saying, I don't know many people that consistently have problems at a movie theater. Is it the movie theater or is it the person involved? And but like, apparently, like, they were trying to card him for him and his siblings to get into Batman, even though it's PG-13. They were trying to card his 14-year-old sister or something, and they wouldn't let him in. And the dude came up and got all snotty with him, and Dylan was like, and I sized him up, and I was thinking, should I fucking wild out and beat his ass? And I was like, I wonder why they don't want Dylan at this movie theater. I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to even be funny. I'm just curious about what's the real fucking story. Somebody that lives near Dylan. Maybe this is something I need to put in Mike's ear. He'll do it one day. Like we need to document, like, do a documentary, like what really happened. Dylan versus Cinemark. And when we find out the truth, it's like, Dylan, you son of a bitch. Oh, I love that guy. Dylan is just a rapscallion whippersnapper up in that theater, says Figure Drawing. I agree. Dylan was wilding out at Cinemark this week, apparently, says Albert. What's up, Albert? Wu-Tang says, I once got banned from a movie theater for starting a hacky sack circle waiting in line for a movie. The least bad boy thing I've ever done. Bro, you're going to have to calm down all this hacky sack nonsense. You're going to have to leave, sir. That's hilarious. Man, hacky sack circles. Bruh. I used to be like, let me get in on this circle. I sucked so bad. I eventually stopped and started making fun of people in hacky sack circles because I wasn't good enough to participate in a hacky sack circle. Jordan says, chat numbers climbing. Smash that. Yeah, smash that thumbs up button, everybody. Really helps boost the algorithm here on YouTube, letting everybody know that we're having a hip, fun time here, talking about comic books, movies, pop culture, and more on Rockin Robbie Live, and drinking hard Mountain Dew like hard dudes do. That should be their tagline. Hey, Mountain Dew, I'll do it. I like it. I mean, I told you, honestly, I liked it. So, you know, hard Mountain Dew, That's what hard dudes do or something. Like I'm coming up with it. Bring back the Hellboy song. What's the Hellboy song? I'm just messing with you, Brando. I haven't freestyled on the mic here for a while like that, so, you know. Pee Wee Herman's Secrets. Bring back the Hellboy song. Yeah, the Hellboy song probably would have been better for that, but I was like, man, do I really, if I do want to do the Hellboy, we've already had massive super chats and love from the community, and I'm like, do I want to bust the Hellboy bubble like within the first half hour? I don't know. And then what do we do? Then what do we got? We got nothing. Can't build on that, you know? Dylan is Carol Baskin. We may never know. Spilio says, okay, got a question for you. For my collection, I have 51 long boxes and I want to start selling them. What app would you use to log them and price them out to? And also, how would you sell them? You're going to get your most money selling them as individual key high dollar issues that you have. Like if you have certain key issues, outside of that as runs, like put a lump run together, maybe 10, 20 comics, sell it as a lot, like issues 220 through 250 of something, right? Like, so people can use it to like fill in gaps. So I would recommend, if you want the most bang for your buck, selling it online somewhere like eBay. I know a lot of people have luck doing like eBay auctions, or you can list them on Craigslist, but you're not going to really have a wide audience there. But eBay, I would say, is a good way to go. Selling them to a shop, you're going to get significantly less. But basically, you want to try to find the right buyer. eBay, there's a lot of buyers there. I don't know of an app to catalog comics because I don't use apps to catalog my comics. So I have zero experience with that. So if anybody in the chat has an app that you use, I know that Bullseye Bob always mentions one that he has. I don't remember what it is. So yeah, I don't have an answer for that one. But as far as that, I would say eBay would be your best bet. But if you're on a social media or something like Facebook or Instagram, some groups will allow selling. Sometimes you're there directly with people that are looking for or be interested in seeing what you have for sale. So, but I would definitely recommend eBay online, something like that. And send me a list first when you get it all cataloged. What you got, bruh? Got the Peter David Hulks, man. Anyway. Is that the new Four Loko? I don't know. Maybe I think it's only 5%. It's only 5% alcohol. This is nothing. I'm just going to be on a sugar high tonight. Well, it says 0 sugar. Hacky sack circle. Am I right? Okay. I love when people are like, I almost beat his ass. No, you didn't. If you were, you would have if you would have been about it. Well, you didn't want to like, bust out his moves in front of his family, and be disgraced. What's up, Tony? How you doing, bro? I haven't seen you in a while. I'm trying that hard Mountain Dew. Have you tried that yet, Tony? It's not bad. It's okay. Tastes like Mountain Dew to me, but like a wine cooler version of Mountain Dew. But I'm all ready to like get on board for some some promotion or something if they need like a sponsor or something, They need a spokesperson. I guess that's what it's called. I'll be like Hard Mountain Dew. What hard dudes do. I like it. What's up, Cards fan? Hey, Sleepy Reader's in the house, I see. Station, Damien. How are you doing? Did you get those Vampirella coins yet? I want some of those. I don't even have any of those. But then one day I'll be like, I bought cigarettes with them, bruh. CLZ is what everybody's saying. Great yeah, that's the one that Bob's always says, I think. Figure Drawing says, on eBay, close-up pics for your keys. Yes, 100%. Because there is the problem. I've sold mostly to get what I do now with my comics is I put them in mystery boxes, or I don't sell comics back to my shop. Right now, the only way I've gotten rid of comics the last few years has been mystery boxes and things like that. So you could do that, but you really want to sell some good stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. But yeah, keys you're going to be able to sell easier, but everything else, a lot of it may just be filler type stuff, but good stuff that's worthwhile. And I always had good luck selling lots of things. Like I would be like the entire, like that's how I got rid of all my Bendis Avengers comics, all my Hickman Avengers comics. That's how I got rid of a big chunk of superhero stuff that I had collected throughout the 2000s and the 2010s, all within a big period one time. And now I need a part of that collection down majorly again. But I got to get it all fully in order again. So there's going to be a Sunday coming up soon where there's no Rockin Robbie Live. And the reason why is because that's what I'll be doing. Because it needs to be done before the expo, the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. I need to go ahead and start promoting that. It's like the weekend of April 22nd or something like that. Jim Starlin's going to be there. Kevin Eastman is going to be there. Felisa Rose is going to be there for horror buffs. And Pop Culture Philosophers is going to be there. So if you're in the area, Huntsville, Alabama, in April, check it out. Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. You can check them out at the hsvexpo.com or on Instagram, hsvexpo. Ever thought of writing your own story and getting it published? Yes, Third Rail, I have. I've actually been very inspired again lately I've been formulating ideas. I'm not saying anything's happening, but I'm very inspired again now to go about this Tapeworm Boy thing in some form or fashion. I'm thinking page at a time, even if it takes me 1 year to do a page. But each page will be its own story, in a way, if that makes sense. That's my idea right now. Tapeworm Boy. Coming soon, this millennium. Spilio says, thank you, my friend. I do have the whole run of Peter David Hulk. Well, golly. Everybody hacky sack, bro. I just wasn't good at it. That's what I'm saying. But I have edited a comic that got published it was self-published from Dance Panda Comics, so that's worth checking out. It's called Black Speck. I think you can find copies on Gumroad or Comixology. Well, Comixology's all fucked now, isn't it? So, I don't know about that one. Selling miniseries together, like Infinity Gauntlet, Long Halloween, keys by itself. If you can get them slabbed, more value, the rest in bulk with list. Yep, absolutely. That's the other thing, too, right? You can do that, too, where, like, comics ranging between this price and this price, see list, people pick from it. That's an option, too, isn't it? I don't get hard versions of things. I just add my own booze. I understand that. But I have never found the right booze to add to Mountain Dew. I've tried it. And this isn't something I would pick up off the shelf just to drink. This is just kind of a bit. Just, drinking hard Mountain Dew tonight, man. We're doing it. But I get what you're saying. Though I'll tell you what, in my early 20s, when I didn't know no better, I had a lot of Mike's Hard Lemonade nights. Are you familiar with the TV series called Archer's Weird Mysteries? No, I'm not. Oh, coins haven't arrived yet? Oh, man. I'll ask them about that. What's it like to do the hard do? Cut to Robbie. Ripping it in his tighties on a homemade sled. Hell yeah, man. If you need some page art, hit me up. All right, Wu-Tang. I have talked to my buddy Kevin. He's a professional comic artist, and we talked about trying to get something together. Because I was like, I think if we put together like a 20, 25 pager, like I think people would buy it. Like I think people would buy it. Like I don't know if you would buy it. Say I'd buy that for more than $1. Comic Book Therapy in the house says, hit that like button, my friends. Absolutely. We got 70 people in here station. Thank you all for being here. I hope you hit that like button. Robbie asks Starlin when he's returning to New York City for store signings. Well, I'll try to remember that, Will. You might have to remind me a little bit closer. Really pumped for Kevin Eastman, too. He's only got 5 appearances. He does them regionally, and this is what he picked for Southeast or something, apparently. So that's freaking awesome. I've been in those figure drawing. I've been in those hacky sack circles where, like, nobody was good. Oh, Twitch says Comixology is dead to me. Door dashing to get some extra comic coin. Wanted to say station for the first time live. Keep up the great infotainment. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Gamer87. Appreciate it. Hey, Mark in the house. What's up, Mark? I was watching Jasmine on the Blame Fable Tonight Show, and I was thinking, I got to send y'all the Action Fest list because I am certain that there's one or two movies that y'all might be interested in joining us for Action Fest, which we do in July and August. So I'll kick that list over to you too. Hell yeah. Hypnotic and Mountain Dew, says Twitch. I don't know, man. I just don't trust anything mixed with Mountain Dew, but okay. Maybe I'll try it. But if I haven't had Hypnotic in so long, if I drink some Hypnotic, I'm just going to drink it with some Henny. You know what I'm saying? It's been that long. Remy and Sprite. Remember that? Did he just say Remy and Sprite? Making fun. Yeah, I did. Comixology came with that drunk dad buying your present at the gas station the day after he forgot your birthday energy. Hell yeah, man. Oh, Damien would buy that. Hell yeah. Kevin's a really good artist, too. Kevin Stokes. You can look up his work. It's really good stuff. Where's the Oasis songs? Is this karaoke? I did an Oasis song last Wednesday. I was very discouraged on my Instagram show on Wednesday. I never had more than 4 people there. I was it really kind of hurt my feelings, to be honest. I only did like a 20-minute show. It's like, but I did Magic Pie. But that was a good one. But we're going to be back again this Wednesday. Yeah, Eastman's coming to Washington State Summer Crown, too. That's one of them. Do it. I'll be there 100% ready for a live movie night again. Hell yeah. It's a great list. I'll say we got 2 of them are franchise reviews, and I'm not going to send you those ones because we're going to try to keep those ones smaller in size because we're going to be talking about a few movies. But the single movie list is pretty solid. I have 2 in mind that I think you guys are really going to like. And I don't want to mention them right here yet because we haven't announced that, because we haven't even announced what's after March Madness, which is going to be awesome. I already got the entire lineup pretty much for the rest of the year figured out, y'all. For PCP movie night, really cool. Used to do with Jen back in the day. I remember watching an episode of Queer Eye where guys made things he called the redneck tequila, and it was tequila and Mountain Dew, and I've tried that, and it was Jose Cuervo like gold, and I've done that. More power to him, bro. More power to him. Hip and Henny. Hip and Henny. Anyway. Someone had requested E40. But I didn't do it. Yeah, Magic Pie is a good one, man. Really like it. Dang, 1 year planned out. Impressive. Well, you know. Well, thank you. I like knowing what's coming. I'm very... You can ask anybody in the crew. I'm very, very planned out. Like with what we're doing. I have the next 20 episodes, Comics Revisited, figured out. I know what we're doing. So I'm like that. So there you go. Also, our shows are structured. They never change in their structure. So I don't really get clever with it, but everybody gets a rundown, even though it's the same. Podcast rundowns are a little bit different, though. You can see some raw podcast footage over there at the Patreon. All right. It's time to look back to last week, though. Comic book-wise, out of everything you read, what was your favorite comic book of last week? In fact, what was your pick of the week? My pick of the week was crossover number 12, which I stopped buying, actually, after like the 6th issue. I actually physically stopped buying crossover, and I figured it would be something I would probably pick up like eventually in trade or a graphic novel format if it was something I wanted to revisit. At that time, I wasn't completely sold on crossover. But in this second arc, which is called Meanwhile, it really took this time to kick up the action in the story so that first arc introduced us to the concept and these ideas, but the the concepts and the ideas didn't fully come to fruition, I feel, until this arc. And this last episode or issue was absolutely amazing to me. I loved the artwork, Jeff Shaw's artwork and Phil Hester and Andy Park's artwork, the writing by Donny Cates and Robert Kirkman. We're starting to understand now more about that crossover means more than just a crossover of characters, more than just a crossover of realities, but a crossover of creators. And I'm really liking it. Having Bendis come in there with Oeming and doing the Powers bits, right? Having Chip Zdarsky come in and do the entire issue where he's lost, right? And who's hunting him down? Who's this person hunting down all these comic book writers? Well, we find out who it is, and it involves Robert Kirkman's creation, Negan, from The Walking Dead. So the opening of this book was Negan confronting Robert Kirkman, and Robert Kirkman's having fun, being self-effacing, and just a really great book that I absolutely loved. Very meta, playing with it, self-aware, enough for now that it's not obnoxious. I thought this was a really solid issue, really solidified the series for me, and got me really excited for where this is going to go, because I think the possibilities now are really outstanding and limitless. So I loved crossover number 12 for my pick of the week. I did just recently kick off a new weekly video, top 5 comic books of the week. I used to do 10 with Jim. I used to do 10 by myself before that. But I'm doing the 5 now because you got to really, really bake down your ideas to do a top 5. That's why we prefer 5s here. So that's what I'm going to go with. There were some really good books. Arkham City was on my top 5. Nice House on the Lake was on my top 5. Radio Spaceman was on my top 5. Dark Knights of Steel was on my top 5. Check out that video if you missed it. But some really great books out this week, but it was something really impressive to me about crossover. Really just that was the most fun I had reading a comic book that week that was new. What do you think about crossover number 12? Did you dig it as much as I did? And what was your favorite out of everything that came out? What was your pick of the week? So let's look at the chat and see. You ever revisit any of the forgotten cliffhanger books? What do you mean by forgotten? Are you saying that all cliffhanger books are forgotten? Or are you saying that there are certain ones that are forgotten, like Out There? Because Out There's forgotten. The Humberto Ramos one. What was the Jeff Johns one? Oh, he did a cliffhanger book. Steampunk? Was that Joe Kelly? Are you talking about those ones? Now, I do plan on doing Battle Chasers and Danger Girl. And I do plan on doing something ultimately grandiose with Crimson once I get all my collection together and see exactly what issues I'm missing so I can complete my run of Crimson, because that was something I got rid of like in the early 2000s, and I've regretted it ever since. But I don't have all... I don't know if I have any Danger Girl issues. I have the trade, like an old school beat up trade of it. I don't have all of the issues of Battle Chasers. I have some of them, but I do have the trade of it. And I have most of Crimson, I believe. Those 3. I didn't like Danger Girl as much, so it's going to be interesting to try to unpack that one soon here for Image in the 90s. Oh man, Manny. I feel you. I'm lucky to get 4 videos on a video lately that first day. I turned into sad. I did, bro. I hate it when you do that. Like that just recently happened with like Robbie's Reads. Like it didn't do as well as I wanted it to, so I like put less of a priority on it. I'm still going to do it, but I want to like slowly gather up like 10 episodes, have them done, and then release them, because just the interest doesn't seem to be there. But I love like reading these things and focusing on it. So maybe it's something I should try to integrate into this show where it gets in front of more eyes. So who knows? But I hate it when that happens. Like when I dropped the Akira Comics Revisited, I thought people would really dig that. But those are slow burns sometimes, man. Don't let it get you down, Manny. You are one of the baddest dudes out there. All right, Wu-Tang says, pick of the week, Nice House on the Lake, easy. Sleepy Reader says Dark Knights of Steel. That was really good. Try some Dr. Pepper and Jack Daniels Pepper Jack. I'll tell you what, try some Muggs Root Beer and Jägermeister. At least I liked that when I was 19. I don't know if I still would, but I liked it then. Darkside says Rogue Sun. Tomorrow says Crossover was dope. Night of the Ghoul was my pick of the week. I haven't been reading that yet. I'm going to wait for the physical copies. Amazon was not letting me read them in a very good way, and I bet that's not improved. Eric says Newburn was really solid. That was on the fence for my top 5. Spilio says Dark Knights of Steel. In the Making said Heavy Metal Drummer was crazy. Glad you liked it. I love that book. Let's see. Wu-Tang says this month my top 5: Black Widow, Animal Castle, Crimson Cage, Nice House, and The Thing. Zach says Arkham City, Order of the World #6. Love that book. Comic Book Therapy, Noctera. It took an unexpected twist at the end. I've dropped out of it. Bryson says, I read stuff late, but Sabretooth was cooler than I expected. Wu-Tang says, oh yeah, Arkham City, so good. That was great. Reverse Amoeba, what's up? Says, Crossover was straight up wonderful. Dark Knights of Steel was really good too. Daniel says, Nice House, Dark Knights of Steel. David Scott with Sabretooth. Trade Paper Dad, Black Panther 4. Kirby says, still catching up on last week's books, but I loved King Jira from Scout. That book was awesome. That was a really good book. Wu-Tang says, bro, Out There was exactly what I was thinking. And Midnight Nation. Midnight Nation was Joe's comics. But yeah, Midnight Nation is fucking amazing. That's my favorite J. Michael Straczynski comic book work. It's really good. Cards Fan says, pick of the week, Strange Academy. 13 through 15 has been a really good book. Solid book. Dr. J says, my pick of the week was She-Hulk by Rainbow Roll. I really liked the second issue. Liked it more than the first one. Mike says, love Crimson and Battle Chasers. Joram says, the top 5 video of the week is an excellent look into the week and gives us your thoughts on the best reads. Well, thank you. Eric says, love the Robbie's Reads vids. Well, there's still going to be some, but it may be a bit until we get to them. Because I'm not done going into some of the manga that I've been trying to read and reading more Daniel Clowes and Charles Byrne. And so I basically got a whole big chunk of stuff ready. So I'm just going to carve out some time, knock out some videos, and then have them ready for you. Jaeger bombs, bro. I used to so many fucking Jaeger bombs, man. God. Me and my homies, we were those dudes. We were that crew. Those dudes, those women, all of us, we would just fucking Jaeger bombs, man. God damn. I remember what the day I was like, I can't. I just want to drink some beer. Just want to have a gin and tonic. I don't want to do Jaeger bombs. But then I started getting into other shots. And so like I still will like be that guy. Like we went karaokeing at a local bar here. It's called The Station. So if anybody is coming to the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo, we got to have like a meetup, and we need to go to the station and do karaoke. And I was like, what we should do shots of? And I was like, let's do shots of redheaded sluts. And then they were like, what is that? And I was like, and I had explained what it was, and they're like, oh, that's a blah, blah, blah. And I was like, we always called them that, but whatever. I guess that's not good anymore. But it was, what is that? It's like Jaeger, cranberry juice. Is Jaeger cranberry juice and something? Am I tripping? Anyway. Moon Knight was a close second, says Darkside is. Hamburger Basket says, currently reading Red Room before trigger warnings. Very excited for that one. Hamburger Basket, what is up, by the way? John says, also like Step by Bloody Step. Really good stuff. Ariaga says, Dark Knights of Steel all the way. Wu-Tang says, bruh, I was obsessed with Battle Chasers. I have 3 complete runs. If you would tell me I'd make it into my 30s and about to have my first kid before 10 came out, bruh. Twist says, if I ever make it down to Huntsville, we need to go do karaoke. Yes, we are karaoke-loving fools here. At least some of us. Like Brooks doesn't like doing karaoke. I've never seen Brooks do karaoke. But like me and Jelani, we're down. We'll go karaokeing with you. Joram says, I would open with Danzig's Mother for karaoke. Let's make it happen. That's one of my favorites. My girlfriend's favorite songs to do in karaoke is Mother. She does it really well, too. Recommended manga, Monster, 20th Century Boys, Demon Slayer, Spy Family, Blade of the Immortal, and Erased. I've read a little bit of Blade of the Immortal back in the early 2000s, but love to get back onto it. Absolutely. All right, let's look ahead at what's coming up in shops this week, and then think about what you're most excited for. So in shops this week, we've got Detective Comics 1056, Amazing Spider-Man 92, Thor 23, Devil's Reign, number 5, Venom, number 6, The Joker, number 13, Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 9, Spawn, 327, The 10 Lives of Wolverine, number 4, and The 10 Deaths of Wolverine, number 4, on the same day. That's a treat. Eternals, number 10. They're breaking me, these X books. I may just not even be able to commit to the bit and not. We'll see. Strange Academy, number 17. Damn, didn't Strange Academy just come out? Is this a... These lists aren't as reliable anymore, but they seem to be, actually. Batman Urban Legends, number 13. Punisher, number 1, the new Punisher book. Devil's Reign, Moon Knight, number 1. Batgirls, number 4. Sabretooth, number 2. Spider-Gwen, Gwenverse, number 1. X-Men Legends, number 12. Chris Claremont's writing this one. I Am Batman, number 7. Star Wars, Crimson Reign, number 3. Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, number 5. Future State, Gotham, number 11. Devil's Reign, Superior 4, number 3. Captain Carter, number 1. Little Monsters, number 1. New Jeff Lemire, Dustin Wynn book. King of Spies, number 4. That's the final issue. Trial of the Amazons, number 1. Justice League versus the Legion of Superheroes, number 2. Radiant Red, number 1 in the Radiant Black universe. Nubia and the Amazons, number 6. Star Wars, Han Solo and Chewbacca, number 1. Mighty Morphin, number 17. Seven Secrets, number 15. The Good Asian, number 9. Sweet Paprika, number 8. Superman vs. Lobo, number 3. Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries, number 12. Women of Marvel, number 1. Icon and Rocket, Season 1, number 6. Naomi, Season 2, number 1. Monkey Meat, number 3. Red Room, Trigger Warnings, number 1. And I'll let you go ahead and know right now that is your pick of the week alert, and that is the book that I am the most freaking excited for. Lady Mechanica, The Monster of the Ministry of Hell, number 3. Buffy the Last Vampire Slayer, number 4. Last Flight Out, number 5. Norse Mythology, Volume 3, number 2. Ant, number 3. Really? I hope so. I've been liking Ant. Apache Delivery Service, number 3. Critical Role, The Tales of Exandria, The Bright Queen, number 4. Hit Me, number 1 is the new one from AWA. New Masters, number 2. Draculina, number 2. Red Sonja, Black, White, Red, number 8 with a beautiful David Mack cover. Daisy, number 4, that's from Dark Horse. We Live, Age of Paladions, number 1. Elvira Meets Vincent Price, number 5. We Live, I already said that one. Evil Ernie, number 4. Primos, number 2. The Cimmerian Hour of the Dragon, number 1. Sonic the Hedgehog, Imposter Syndrome, number 3. Life is Strange, Settling Dust, number 4. The Killlock, Artisan Wraith, number 1. Killlock is a really good book. Very excited to see this one return. Lunar Room, number 3. All Guts, No Glory, number 2. Betty Page, The Alien Agenda, number 1. Very excited for this one. Really liking the Betty Page books right now. And this is written by Anna Mia, friend of the show. Van Helsing, Hour of the Witch, number 1. Rick and Morty, Infinity Hour, number 1. The Devil Tree, number 4. What else? And the Perhapnauts, Triangle, number 1. And Muscle Horse is something that's coming out. So that's what's coming out this week. What are you most excited for? Let us know in the chat, and we'll talk about it when we get back from our break. So this hard Mountain Dew, not that bad, not too shabby. When we come back, the DC sneak peek, the Batman movie review, and Marvel in the 80s. Y'all, it's been a great one. Let's continue that momentum.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague, we all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name, all our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be, living in a time where disease is on every screen, I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering, negativity is a plague. mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah.
Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim. Yeah. Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the gas, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live here on a Sunday night on Pop Culture Philosophers. We have already talked about our favorite comic books of last week. We looked ahead at what's coming up in shops this week. We're about to continue on with the DC sneak peek. We're going to be talking about The Batman in a non-spoiler review, and we're going to be doing a bit for Marvel in the 80s. Very excited. Got lots of good stuff coming up here. I do want to say you can follow Pop Culture Philosophers on Facebook, on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, you might as well join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can follow me on Twitter at the Rockin Robbie. Check out podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com and unlock the unedited video version of the newest episode of the podcast yet to be released to the public at patreon.com/PCP, where you can support the channel or with Super Chat. And now that we have reached the Milestone Comics goal, I'll announce the next goal, and that is raising money for the PCP trip to Heroes Con. That's right, everybody. Rockin' Robbie's going to be at Heroes Con 2022. The return. It's going to be amazing. John Romita Jr. is going to be there. Ron Friends is going to be there. Tom DeFalco's going to be there. Chris Pachalo's going to be there. A whole bunch of others that are escaping me right now. Bob McLeod, Larry Stroman. Come on. Dan Rosa, like, it's going to be freaking amazing. Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, come on, y'all. It's going to be amazing. So, Rockin' Robbie at HeroCon, that's what the next fundraising goal is going to be. So all Super Chats going forward over the next few weeks into maybe the couple months, we'll be going towards that. So thank you so much for the support. We really do appreciate everything, and take a moment to look at these fine names right here. True PCP patrons and patriots, one and all. What's coming up here on the show, on the channel? Tomorrow night, we continue March Madness, which kicked off last night on Dylan's Horror Show with a review of The Entity. Absolutely. We're going to continue that with Manhunter. Tomorrow night, PCP Movie Night. And then on Dylan's Horror Show this Saturday, Dead and Buried. I've never seen this one. Very excited to check it out. There is the full lineup for March Madness. We are well into our way of kicking it off. So, very excited for that. How is everybody doing? When we last left, we were talking about what's coming out this week. So let me go back and see what people are most excited for. For me, it's Red Room. Wu-Tang says, for me, number 1, King of Spies. Number 2, Devil's Reign, Moon Knight. Number 3, Eternals. Hell yeah. Reverse Amoeba says, Robbie, your horror t-shirt game has been on point lately. I've been jealous like every video. Station. That's my Night of the Demons shirt. Love Night of the Demons. I got to meet both Amelia Kincaid and Linnea Quigley at Scarefest this last year. Already got tickets for Scarefest this year. They're doing reunions for Friday the 13th Part 3 and Return of the Living Dead. So hopefully Linnea gets announced again. That would be awesome. Brooks says, I'd be down for karaoke. Brooks is like, don't put words in my mouth, motherfucker. Brooks, I've never known you to be down for karaoke. So we're about to try another one of these hard Mountain Dews. This is the Baja Blast version. I really like Baja Blast. So let's see. Once again, 0 sugar. Smells like Baja Blast. All right. That's not bad. I'm digging these hard Mountain Dews. They're fine. Taki says, Verno reads all the X books for me. Mod DJ 8000 says, X-Men books rule, chill out. Hell yeah. Ariaga says, Red Room, Little Monsters, Thor, and King of Spies. Mod DJ 8000, Red Room. Spilio says, Punisher, easy pick for which book I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I hope it's good. Aaron's written a good Punisher before. We'll see how this one goes. There are 2 different We Live releases. Okay. Interesting. Can't wait for Kill Lock, says Fabled. Loved that first volume. Yeah, me too. Joram says, I will be getting Betty Page. Me too. Cosplay cover, actually. When is We Have Demons by Snyder out? Soon. Very soon. Yeah, very soon. Trade Paper Dad says, most excited Punisher 1, We Live, and Paladins number 1, Black and White. So yeah, there's 2 different ones. That's weird. Oh, that was not me, Wu-Tang. That's somebody that YouTube's trying to promote. So they're like, use his music for free, his new album. I'm like, okay. I like some of those songs. They're okay. I don't mind them. And I actually think some of them represent the attitude of Rockin' Robbie. So that's why I use them. And I thought it'd just be fun. Not me, though. I'd like to do some more music, but I'd like to do a lot of things. Eagle Tiger Noel says, King of Spies has been a roller coaster of action and awesomeness. I am ready for it to go out with a bang. Literally, me too. I love the hell out of that book. Matteo Scalera is an amazing artist. Joram says, New Masters interests me. Have no idea what it's about. Just put it on the poll. It's a pretty solid book. The first issue made the pick of the week. It wasn't a super strong week, but it was a good book. It is an interesting idea. But it's about like this alien race has come in and they're kind of like occupying Earth now or something like that. So it's pretty interesting. I liked it. Bruh, is LeBron gonna drop another 50? If LeBron could drop 56 points each game, I wouldn't have a problem with the Lakers this season, but that ain't gonna happen. Twitch says, been working on bagging and boarding comics since the Blame Fable show. Still have like 3 weeks of Marvel books left. Will Robbie talk about the DC Office debacle? Twitch says, DC Office debacle? Spilio says, no hamburger, but good call. Would like to know his thoughts. Figure Drawing says, it was a nothing hamburger, actually. Hamburger says, DC staffers must relocate. Interesting. John says, and not have their own desk. Sounds scandalous, says Joram. Figure Drawing says, it's pretty much a non-story. It kind of is a non-story. I haven't looked into every single thing, but the way that I'm familiar with what's happened is that they've relocated their offices to one of those, like, I guess they're offices that you rent out or something like that. So it's not like like people don't have dedicated cubicles and desks and offices and shit, but like you go in, I don't know. Something like that. I'm not super familiar with what it is, but I do think a lot of people are trying to make it seem like a lot of people that like to tout the narrative that comics is dying and that DC sucks and that this is all going away, that this is something for people to latch onto and try to make a story out. I'm not necessarily saying it's a non-story, but to me, it didn't seem like super significant, so I didn't really dive too much into it. I know that like Perch did a video or two about it, so maybe he had more information, but I didn't watch those. Yeah, murderer's roll of celebrities at Heroes Con, man. And the thing I love about Heroes Con, nobody from Walking Dead, nobody from Supernatural, nobody from Power Rangers. As much as I love that shit, you know, it's all comic book people. And I only went the one time, and I had one of the most amazing experiences in cons, period. Like that and Scarefest. Those are the last two cons I really went to. Memphis Con, I'm planning on going to, the Memphis Expo or whatever. And that's like in September. I'm going to try to go there. It's not too far, but James O'Barr is going to be there. Creator of The Crow. So I would love to go and get to meet him. That'd be really cool. Because I as much as I don't necessarily like the movie, but I haven't seen the movie since I was a teenager, so maybe it would be different if we revisited it. But I do really love the art in that comic. That chart needs an update. I just joined Patreon Station, Ariaga. It will be updated for next week. I can't do it on the fly, but hell yeah. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. Robbie, what size shirt do you generally wear? It bounces back and forth. It depends on where it comes from, but it's either an XL or a double XL. It's in between those, but it depends on what it is. Usually it's good just to get a double XL just in case at this point. But hopefully in a couple, 2-3 months from now, I'll be back firmly into XL. Started gaining a lot of weight during the pandemic, and then just kind of had a wild time. But we're working. We've been on the right trend now. We're not quite hitting it like Jim Mint. Have y'all seen Jim Mint lately? Bruh. He's half the man he used to be. I'm proud of my friend, man. That is a major life change to make, and he made it like, and that's how it happens, man. It's got to hit that. It's hard, man, when you got all these hard Mountain Dews to try, bruh. But no, I've been feeling better and been paying more attention, things like that. So, anyway. But yeah, I would always be safe with the double X at this point. But even some double X's at some places get tight too. It's weird, man. Hey, James in the house. Always happy to see Rockin Robbie on Sunday. Station, my friend. Station, absolutely. A manly 2X. Slim Miney. Yeah, but you meant, yeah, that's funny. Jim Mint does look like a different man. Yeah, I feel you about the size fluctuation between brands. Yeah, absolutely. When I buy from like Fright Rags or Gutter Garbs or something like that, I go XX. If I buy from $6 shirts, it's a gamble. Sometimes a XX is too big. Sometimes an XL is too small. It's just a gamble. You never know. I've sent shirts back and had to wait. But thank you. Got my Night of the Demons. Man, I love this shirt. It's got Linnea on it. I got 2 shirts with Linnea on it, but not really. I mean, obviously, it's just art. Robbie's always doing it extra large for the culture. Yeah, station. All right, it's time to get to the next bit. The next bit is the DC Comics Sneak Peek. Light week for DC, so there's not going to be a whole lot to this, but it's time. We're going to start off with Superman versus Lobo number 3. If this was a full-fledged week for DC, because there were a lot that I didn't read. I didn't read Nubia. It's part 2 of the Trial of the Amazons. We'll get to that in a moment. But if this was a week where there's going to be like 10 or 12 DC books, I may have skipped this because I've liked it enough, but it hasn't been like super memorable or something I would ever really want to go back to. But it was a very light week for DC. I think I read 6 books. 6 books, right? So I decided to read this, see the finale. It's fine. Basically, each issue of this was, there's 3 issues. DC Black Label, exercise format. Tim Seeley, Sarah Beatty as the writers. Mirka Andolfo as the art. And it was all right. It was a fine enough finale. Hardcore Lobo and Superman fans, you may enjoy it. It's got some cool, versions of some Wildstorm characters. The artwork from Andolfo it's serviceable. Doesn't really do anything extraordinary. Same thing with the story. Doesn't do anything extraordinary, but it was okay. It was decent. It was interesting, but Superman doesn't really lend himself to DC Black Label. I think it's obvious in this. So overall, it's okay. It's not necessarily bad, but ultimately not very memorable for me. That's what I'll say there. Next up, we got Trial of the Amazons number 1 of 2. But what this is crossing over all these different Wonder Woman-centric books. So part 1's here. Part 2's in Nubia, which is out this week. Wonder Woman 78's part 3. Trial of the Amazons Wonder Girl number 1 is the next part. And then Wonder Woman, Wonder Girl, Trial of the Amazons number 2. So I read this. I have not been keeping up with the Wonder Woman books. I was dissatisfied, so I jumped out of them. Now I decided, come back here, because what something like this is supposed to do is be a promise of a new direction or something big that's going to happen to get new readers to come in and try to see what's going to happen. You got a beautiful Jim Chung cover. And does it do it? Does it provide a great jumping on point for new readers? No, it doesn't. Because it feels confusing, it feels bogged down in its own narrative, and it doesn't deliver much excitement. When I opened this book, the first 6 pages should have been something exciting and big to get me to understand a scale and a scope. And then you can start filling me in on this backstory. Now, it does fill you in on the backstory, but it does it in a kind of tedious, arduous way. That being said, I kind of like the premise of this story. So you got the Amazons, and there's this well or something, and things are coming out of it, so they need a protector, a champion to guard this well, with portal to another reality or some shit. And so they got to have another contest. Like when they chose Diana to be the ambassador, they got to find a new champion. But you got the other tribe of Amazons, which Artemis is a part of, but then you got the other tribe of Amazons that Yara Flor is a part of. So you have all these things converging into one, and it feels interesting and in its intrigue, but it still is a very arduous, tedious kind of first issue. But it did get me kind of interested enough to keep up with it, see what happens, and see where it's going to take the franchise, because I like the overall idea behind it. The execution, though, there was a missed opportunity there. Detective Comics 1056, exploring this character that's been in Detective Comics, one of the inmates of Arkham Tower, the not Harley Quinn. That gets explained here in a really stupid and dumb way, in my opinion. I have not liked this Arkham Tower story. That being said, this was probably one of the more exciting chapters of that. Still liking the backup, but man, I'm 10 chapters into it. There's only 2 more. You just got to stick it through. Why? Then we got The Joker, issue number 13. This is the penultimate issue of The Joker. There's only 1 more left. I didn't like the reveal in the last issue. This issue was a little bit better, though, kind of course-correcting, getting back on the track of the series, focusing on this family. Everything's coming to a head, building up to this final confrontation, and I liked it. I thought it was okay. It was decent. Overall, the book hasn't been... I don't think it's delivered on its promise set in those first 4 issues, but it hasn't necessarily been over bad. Then we have Naomi, Season 2, number 1. I am a huge fan of that first Naomi graphic novel series, whatever you want to call it. I loved it. Thought it was really freaking good. Then we got Season 2. But in between Season 2, we had her show up in Bendis' Justice League. I did not like that. That references that, kind of catches you up real quick on that, and then just kind of gets right back to what it's trying to do. The problem is, it doesn't really do anything dynamic or exciting or hooky bringing us in. It's building a mystery. It's building another mystery involving her parents, her adoptive Earth parents and things. The artwork is amazing. But there's just something that fell a little bit flat, didn't kind of feel like it had the magic of Season 1, but it wasn't something that discouraged me from the book, because I did love the artwork. I thought it was very kinetic and poppy. Colors could be a little bit more different in its composition. There could be more variations on the color, but maybe that's just me trying to nitpick, because the color's okay. I don't know. On most pages, the colors are kind of all the same, and then on some pages they really pop and work. But anyway, that being said, Naomi Season 2, number 1, a promising, decent start, but not as promising as the original Season 1. And then we got Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 9. The best issue of Superman, Son of Kal-El yet, because the artwork's done by Bruno Redondo. This is the second part of the crossover with Nightwing, and it worked. It really freaking worked for me. I thought it was pretty solid. I loved the artwork. Still excessive use of digitized screen tone from Bruno Redondo. I'm trying to ignore that and not nitpick and focus in on that because his storytelling ability is flawless. So that's really masterful. His very confident line. I really like it. I liked this issue. It's set up a lot for the series, but at the same time, it's anchored by that relationship and dynamic between Jonathan and Dick Grayson, which really is an interesting kind of thing to look at, especially considering Dick's relationship with Damian. It's a completely different dynamic with Jonathan, but I really like it because we're also dealing with Jonathan now starting to deal with a little bit more doubt in a more organic, believable way. So I really like that. Out of everything that I read, Superman vs. Lobo, decent enough ending, but not super memorable. Trial of the Amazons, interesting in its concept, but really a missed opportunity in trying to generate excitement for the whole Wonder Woman world. Detective Comics, what a joke. Joker, it's okay. Not as good as we wanted it to be. Naomi, decent enough start for the second one. We hope we can kick that up. And the best one I read was Superman, Son of Kal-El. That was my DC pick of the week. Basically an issue of Nightwing, but really focusing on the character of Jonathan Kent. And that, my friends, was your DC Comics sneak peek. Yeah, Campbell does his own coloring. There are moments there where the coloring really works. There are just some pages where maybe the coloring is kind of the colors are a bit too close. There's not enough contrast, maybe. But that's an artistic nitpicking choice, right? So find a place to put them DC books so I can have this omnibus handy right here. Let's see. I'm just in it for the Batman variants. They're all fire, says Wu-Tang. Hey, Mike06 is in the house station. Bruh, I'm drinking the Baja Blast. It's okay. These are okay. I wouldn't go out and buy these purposefully. I wouldn't drink these hard Mountain Dews on purpose or go out of my way for them. But decent enough to try them. Wu-Tang says, after Historia, everything Amazon-related pales in comparison to me. That was a really good book. I liked Historia a lot. I want to like Wonder Woman. I want to like Yara Flor. There's some intriguing elements, like the setup of the book is fine, but that setup could have been handled in a different way. It's a missed opportunity on generating excitement for a new audience, new readers to come in for Wonder Woman. I think what they need to do, when they finish this, we'll see what happens. Maybe they do generate that excitement, but a refocus needs to happen. Trim the line back down to just a Wonder Woman core book, have Yara Flor be a part of it, but trim it down to a core book and really focus in on having a good, consistent, artistic team and really solid ideas in writing. But what do I know? What do I know? Mike, everybody wants to know how you're doing out there on the road. I know his first stop, I think, was Vegas. Are you in Vegas right now? You already there? Just let us know. All right, y'all. You don't have to worry about spoilers here, because I already talked about my thoughts on the Batman in a very spoilery way over at the Cerebros with Bullseye Bob, Jelani, and Verno. So check out that video, but we're about to get into a Batman movie review. I watched it, and we're going to talk about it. Non-spoilers, though. No spoilers in the chat, no spoilers from me. Let's do it. So The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves. I thought it was pretty decent. I thought it was all right. Like, people were coming out of this movie, they were saying it was the best, not only the best Batman movie ever, not only the best Batman ever, not only the best villains ever, but the absolute best DC movie of all time. I disagree with all those assessments on my first viewing, but it is just my first viewing, but I thought the movie was pretty decent. Thought it was okay. Really thought they set up a very comic book accurate vision of Gotham, and I really liked it. This is probably the Batman that has the least amount of lines and dialogue out of every single Batman, and I like that because it's very accurate to me. There are some puzzling choices, though, involving his technology. Certain things are really high-tech, certain things are very low-tech, but that's just nitpicky type stuff. I think Robert Pattinson looks amazing in the suit. The suit really works for the cinematography and the color scope of the film. It really pops. It really works. And outside of the costume, he doesn't quite give us the best Bruce Wayne we've ever had, but he's giving us a character who has not yet realized the importance of Bruce Wayne. He is a little bit emo, we can say. But all in all, he has an intensity about him that comes across just through his eyes that will remind you of Michael Keaton, albeit in a little bit more darker and sinister kind of way. Fight scenes are okay. Doesn't have a lot of action, this movie. It's got a lot of build-up. It's got a lot of setup. It felt like maybe it should have been more of a TV series, but the most underutilized character and element of the movie is Alfred. The dude is awesome as Alfred. Absolutely. His name is escaping me now. Gollum, Claw. Why can I not think of this dude's name? Some y'all help me out. Why can I not think of his name? But he's a great Alfred, and it was an opportunity to do something different and put a different spin on Alfred, but they didn't actually do it, and they really underutilized that character. Then we got Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. She is really good as both Catwoman and Selena Kyle. She's gorgeous, she's sexy, she's dangerous, she's badass. The relationship with Batman doesn't quite work for me. Feels very one-sided on her part. Andy Serkis, thank you so much. I don't know why I could not pull that out of my ass. But Robert Pattinson and Zoe, I don't think they have the best chemistry together, and they spend a lot of time, and her whole involvement, Selena's whole involvement, is just a bit too coincidental. But all in all, it's still decent enough of a setup. This is the star of the show for me. Jeffrey Wright as Gordon. I love his Gordon. They really dive into the partnership that he has with Batman. You see them on crime scenes. Batman showing up. Gordon's trying to defend him, trying to do their thing. They're solving the mystery together. This is very Seven meets a Batman movie, 100%. Matt Reeves is basically trying to deliver a David Fincher version, a David Fincher light version of the Batman. Jeffrey Wright kills it for me. The Riddler, I don't know. I don't necessarily like this interpretation of the Riddler. It's interesting, but they kind of basically did John Doe from Seven meets Jigsaw, and it didn't necessarily quite work for me all the way. I felt like I met them halfway. They met me halfway, but we each had different halfways. So I'm not completely enamored by the Riddler, but love Colin Farrell as the Penguin, a very comic book accurate version of the Penguin. You cannot recognize him through the makeup, through the performance, through the voice. He is really good and has some of the best parts of the movie, including action-wise. Because it is a little bit light on action, but that Batmobile is so freaking badass. I loved it. It's the chase scene has some cheesy bits in it that are a little bit over the top for a movie that feels like it's so dark and grounded. But that Batmobile freaking sings. All in all, I think the movie's okay. I'm going to stick with my initial thoughts for now until I rewatch it, and I'm going to give it a 3.5. You digs, out of 5, 3.5. Overly long and a problematic third act. It just doesn't quite land. It tries to do something big and epic in the third act. It just doesn't quite land for me. So structurally, it's not the best. It has some missed opportunities, but it does get a lot right. And it doesn't necessarily get anything wrong. It just doesn't always connect the dots, if that makes sense. What do you think about the Batman in a non-spoilery way? What do you give it out of 5, you digs? I give it 3.5. So there you go. Andy Serkis, thank you so much. Circumstances says Batman is too long and tries to do too much. I think that is one of the faults of the movie. Wu-Tang says, I didn't love the Nolan films after Begins. Overrated to me. As a whole, I would put this as number 2 Batman movie behind Mask of the Phantasm. Okay, hell yeah. Batflex says, I think the film is overrated. Fair enough. I would say that a part of me thinks it's slightly overrated, but I can see why people like it because of the things that it did get right. Everyone's super broody. Nobody seems concerned with people's ability to bleed, says Batfleck. Thank you. Is that Manny? Who is that? Whoever this person is. I love it. I would argue Alfred was intentionally sidelined based on this Bruce. They aren't there yet. No, they could have used that more to show us more of Bruce, though. Because the Catwoman stuff, maybe a little bit less of that, because that didn't feel as organic. Her whole story kind of felt forced into the Batman mystery. I did like that it was a mystery, but it is very Seven. The last hour is rough as hell, says Twitch. Completely agree, 3.5 is fair. Darkseid says, bro, that's great. I've just been saying horror thriller movie, but Seven Batman is spot on. Loved it, 5.5. It's so much like Seven so that even when you go, there's a moment where they go, I mean, you guys know it's the Riddler, you know that they catch him, but like when they find his spot, it's straight up, it's like the same set from John. It's very Seven, but it doesn't go there. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really go there. Spilio gives it a 4, you digs. Jeffrey Wright is amazing. I've loved that dude ever since Peoples Hernandez in the Shaft movie. Wu-Tang says, Robbie, brother, I could not disagree with you more about this movie. All love, bro. I like the movie, though. I'm just trying to... I know a lot of people like it, so it may seem like I'm pointing out more of the negatives. So I'm just trying to say why I didn't like it as much as other people. But the positives I like. Really loved Robert Pattinson as Batman. I thought Batman was handled pretty well. I thought Gordon was amazing. Selena Kyle was amazing. Some of the parts just didn't click quite well with me. I loved Colin Farrell. I loved... it's not quite a spoiler, but I'm not going to get into it. But I love John Turturro in this film. So it was more that third act that I had the biggest struggle with. Honestly. But I did like the look of it for the most part. It felt dirty, felt seedy. Felt like Gotham. I like this is the best Gotham. It's a very comic book accurate Gotham, I think. Has a lot of influences. Picks up stuff from Court of Owls, picks up a lot from Long Halloween, picks up a lot from a little bit dangling from Year One, things like that. Circumstances says the last hours when the movie lost me. I wanted to like it, but I couldn't after that. Tomorrow says, couldn't possibly be me. The account name is obviously different. Wu-Tang says, I loved Catwoman. This Batman Bruce is becoming hyper-focused, so I love the Selena moments, pulling him out of that and letting us glimpse his vulnerabilities. Fair enough. And I said this on the spoiler review, which I encourage everybody to check out if you really want to see a more well-thought-out kind of spoiler talk on this movie. Me, Verno, Bob, and Jelani. That's over at the Cerebros, one of the feature channels here on our homepage here on YouTube. But one of the things I said there was I'm looking forward to watching this again because it is a 3-hour movie. It didn't feel like a 3-hour movie, but it felt like a long movie, but it didn't feel overly long to me. But I didn't necessarily like the build up into the third act or the payoff there. There are moments of it that I really liked though. So I'm looking forward to rewatching it because I think it's something that I'm probably going to like more the more I watch it. But it may go the other way around. You never know. But I loved Zoe Kravitz as Selena. I thought she was amazing. 100% amazing. I thought they forced in the love, the attraction. I didn't buy it. Right? Kind of like the way I bought it in Batman Returns. Though in Batman Returns, you have the benefit of knowing both of them. They both also know each other behind the mask. Not they don't know who each other are at that beginning, but you get what I'm saying. You're able to see the attraction build in a different way. $26 is how much it was going to cost to watch that? Oof. Woo! Heard the film is really like 4 hours long. It's just 3, and there is something at the end of the credits, but it's not really anything worth checking it out. Twitch says, the movie feels like a train ride and you see 3 different stations to stop at, but you blow by them going, what? I get that. I mentioned that I felt like it was a little bit episodic. I feel like it would have been a really good 6-episode, like 6-hour-long episodes, like miniseries on something like that. And like Wu-Tang points out, it's decompressed movie making. When the trilogy is done, this will hit different. So that may be the case. It may be like, maybe it would be better to do a series, but maybe we're just going to get that in the trilogy. So I liked it. I mean, I did like 3.5 is really fucking good, I think. Like if we want to move that to a 10 scale, that's 7 out of 10. I think that's pretty good. And on Verno's stream, I think I actually said I'm more of like a 3.69. Dude. But, you know, it is what it is. Wu-Tang says, LOL, I bought it. If I meet this Selena through a pair of goggles, she's so fine. I'd be a shook Batman too. CTA Frank says, it felt like watching 7 Part 2. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Jeffrey Wright to me was the big standout. I wanted more of that. I wanted more of them just trying to solve the mystery. Yeah, like Twitch says there. The website flash after the credits leads to a website with an image. With a code, you can use the cipher on promotional material to decipher it. And John Stout says, it's on HBO Max in a little over a month. I'll watch it then. Is it really like in April or May when they're dropping it? Because they have already announced it, right? That's wild. They don't waste no goddamn time anymore, do they? No, they sure don't. But all in all, I liked it. I went with Jay Strick. Jay Strick loved it. My buddy Blake liked it, but was disappointed because he was really, really hyped for it. But a lot of people are really liking it. The movie's going to do... It's done really well. I think a lot of people I think most people are going to like it. So if you've been on the fence, even if you want to wait until it comes out on HBO Max or whatever, I mean, I think a lot of people are going to like it. Definitely worth checking out, especially in the comfort of your own home, when you can pause it after, like, watch it an hour at a time and see what happens. I would say it's not the best film I've seen all year. I had more fun watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But I think I rated them both the same. They both gave them a 3.5. So it's on par with my favorite of the year so far, which is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre for some goddamn reason. I hope there's a better movie out this year. We'll see. 3 hours is a bit long on this one, though. It could have been tightened up. Gordon and Batman teaming up was so good. I love how they handled them. My thought bubble of those two while watching was Teen Titans Go, Gordon and Bruce. All right. Who is Jay Strick? Exactly. We may never know, Big Herm. Joe is looking forward to Doctor Strange 2. Me too. The newest trailer for that one really kind of set it off for me. I really like that trailer. I'm excited to see where they go, what they do with it. I really am. If you've seen the trailer with the funeral scene, it's a perfect time to run off and use the restroom. Me, my plays, I really wish I knew that because for some reason, I am the worst. Worst of it. Bro, Rob, I know, man. The Texas Chainsaw Man. Talk about a hot take. Wrong, Robbie. All of Us Are Dead is Netflix top horror show. I haven't seen that. So, is that a show or is that a movie? Chainsaw was the aunt of movies. I'm questioning you, bro. I liked Texas Chainsaw Massacre for certain reasons. If you want to know more of my full-on thoughts, we did a show about it on Dylan's Horror Show. I liked Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I liked the new one. It was ridiculous. It was stupid. It was dumb. And it was everything that it set out to be. I'm liking Ant, though. I know, man. When I mentioned Ant on my Best Comics of the Month stream, I think Joe Corallo let off such a hearty laugh. But it is. Yeah, I need to check that out then. I have Netflix. Jelani says, Jelani's here, Station Jelani. The Batman is a 4 out of 5, you digs. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a 4.5 to me. So that means that Jelani agrees with me in saying that right now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the better movie. So is Texas Chainsaw Massacre the best movie you've watched of the year so far? And we're only at the beginning of March, so we're not holding on to nothing. By the way, Jelani, we were talking about at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo, if we had anybody come in from out of town, we need to do a karaoke night that Saturday night at the station. Right? Hell yeah. Heard that the new Hellraiser is going to be a trans woman? Yes. The lady cast as Pinhead is trans, and that's interesting because in the Hellbound Heart, Pinhead is meant to be more androgynous, right? So I'm excited to see if that will bring any kind of interesting layers to that character, because we've seen Doug Bradley's Pinhead done to death, good ways and bad ways. So I'm interested to check that out. And Jelani says, yeah, so far. And Jelani says, let's do it. Hell yeah. And Wu-Tang says, you both need Jesus. Big Herm says, I'm watching The Batman tomorrow morning. I'm sure it's way better than TCM. I'm sure most people will agree with you. Put down the hard do and pick up the hard Jesus. Oh, man. It's hard Mountain Dew, Jelani's not that bad. By the way, Brooks said that he'd be down for karaoke too, bro. That blew my mind. I didn't ever think that Brooks would be a karaoke dude. Never thought. Never thought that. All right. It's time for one of my favorite segments here on Rockin' Robbie Live. It's time for Marvel in the 80s. And today we're talking about Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, a 6-issue miniseries. This miniseries was written by Chris Claremont. It has artwork from Al Milgrom, and I was not looking forward to this. I've been kind of delaying it, putting it off. It's in my Wolverine omnibus that I'm going through, but I am going to tell you, I was rather pleased with this book. So it is written by Chris Claremont. It's got artwork by Al Milgrom. It's got coloring by Glynis Wein. And let's see here. Lettering by Tom Orzechowski and Joe Rosen. And I think Anna Cinti is the letterer. But I really like this book. Let's go through it. So Kitty Pryde has just been dumped by Colossus. She has left the X-Men. And Claremont and Milgrom follow her into Chicago, where she goes to visit her family. She goes and walks in on her dad doing some shady business dealings with some Japanese businessmen. It turns out they're part of the Yakuza clan or some shit like that. She walks into it, and they're taking her dad to go figure out some stuff in Japan. And Kitty wants to go along and figure out what's happening, but her dad won't allow her. So she winds up phasing onto the plane. And she doesn't just like stay stashed in the luggage department and just wait it out or whatever. She actually goes into the cabin and like tries to fall asleep on the desk, and then a flight attendant comes and finds out that she's not supposed to be there. So then she like stays there until they get there, and she phases out. She's on the run. She's going through Japan. She's alone. She's got nobody there. She doesn't know what's going on. She winds up robbing an ATM. The police are chasing her. It starts raining. It's just absolutely freaking terrible for her. And she is just completely in a foreign land with no support, no money, nothing, being chased by the police. She gets swept away down into the sewer. It's a rough day in the land of the rising sun for Kitty Pryde. So she calls back home. Wolverine answers. She freaks out, hangs up the phone, finds out that she's a wanted woman. And then she walks in, finally, she phases into this businessman's office who turns out to be a gangster, and her dad is there. She finds out that her dad is a criminal. Dun, dun, dun. Which leads us to the second issue. Notice in the first issue, it's called Kitty Pryde and Wolverine. It's like no Wolverine in it. Really liking the artwork by Al Milgrom. I've seen some work from him before. I mostly know him as an inker, but really like this dynamic, bold, thick brushstroke that he has here. So they go, get the girl. Her dad freaks out. She fights him off. She winds up escaping, getting away, but she winds up being given to one of the associates to this dude's name is like Shigematsu or something, and this dude's name is Agun or something like that. Turns out he's got a history with Wolverine. We're going to find out more about that. But they're like, your payment for your service to us is Kitty Pryde. You get to take her. So he drops down in his ninja garb, his ninja mask, and he kidnaps Kitty Pryde. Wolverine shows up trying to find Kitty Pryde because of the phone call that he got. So Kitty Pryde is then like hypnotized and paralyzed by this dude. He basically strips her of her hair, her clothes, and her identity. And he does some kind of like ninja, like hypnotic kind of imprint type thing where he like subdues her consciousness, imprints his consciousness and ninja skills onto her, so that when she comes out of this, she is now a stone cold, bloody assassin. Wolverine's in town. He goes and finds that dude, Shigematsu or whatever. He starts slashing away. He's like, where's Kitty Pryde? Tell me or I'm going to kill you. He's like, oh, I gave her to this dude. And then this dude is going to send Kitty towards Wolverine. So now Kitty is all of a sudden a badass ninja. She's being sent after Wolverine. Issue 3 is the fight. It starts off, you think Kitty's coming after Wolverine, but no. It's Yukio. Yukio is in love, mad love with Wolverine. This is story points dangling from that Wolverine series with Chris Claremont, Frank Miller. We've covered this in Marvel in the 80s. So she's there. She's going to be a big factor in this book, kind of helping out what's going on. But ultimately what's happening now is that Wolverine trying to find Kitty Pryde, and he winds up getting attacked by a ninja that we know is Kitty Pryde. I want to point out how great the layouts, the composition, the storytelling is by Al Milgrom. I mentioned the line work, a very dynamic, energetic, bold, and swift kind of line. but the storytelling is still there 100%. So Kitty Pryde, Ninja Kitty Pryde versus Wolverine, you think it would go easily one way, but it doesn't quite go that way. Like halfway through the match, Wolverine can smell her. He knows who it is, but he's still not bringing himself to fully believe it. They have a big tussle. It lasts the majority of the issue. And one of the cool things about comic books back in the 80s, something that Chris Claremont did really well in this series, something Al Milgrom does really well, is telling a complete story in a very interesting and dynamic way. Kitty winds up getting stuck on like the train tracks. Wolverine has to save her. After saving her, she's unmasked and she stabs Wolverine, which leads us to issue number 4. But being able to deliver each, like a complete story in an overall narrative while doing something major to the whole story, which I think is rather fantastic. So we kick off into the next issue. Yukio is driving Kitty, who's passed out, Wolverine, who's dying, and Kitty Pryde's dad. And it's really crazy to notice that back in these days, Wolverine's healing factor is not what it was today. If he got stabbed by a sword, he would keep on fighting. You know what I'm saying? So it's really interesting to see how different or how evolved certain aspects has gotten. But we get the backstory that after Kitty stabs Wolverine, Yukio basically fights her, knocks her ass out with some like poison-tipped darts, and she throws them all into a car. Kitty escapes. She hunts her down again. They wind up going to this house, trying to hold up there. And so Kitty wakes up, and she's happy. She sees Wolverine. She doesn't really remember. Then she starts remembering what she's done. She's been brainwashed by this ninja dude, and it's really freaking cool. And so now Wolverine is trying to break and reprogram her, basically, and train her in a different way. He tells her a story about the dude Ogun, who has imprinted and brainwashed her, and how he came across this samurai. They drew their swords, and just a really, like, look at, that's what I'm talking about with those, that dashing, quick brush stroke, but it's got a dynamic, interesting layout, a cool flow and quality. This scene is mimicked later on in a really interesting way. So Wolverine spends most of this issue trying to train Kitty, trying to deprogram her, which is going to be apparently very difficult. And Kitty is finding this training to be very arduous. And in the middle of all this, Wolverine gets a phone call, finds out Storm lost her powers, and his friend, the Guardian from Alpha Flight, is dead. So he goes out to the moon and howls. Really kind of cool random moment there. Lots of tie-ins to what's going on in continuity. For instance, there's a blizzard going on right now, and they reference that it's a worldwide blizzard because the cask of ancient winters has been unleashed in Thor. And I was like, oh, bro, I got to go back and read that. So it kind of gives you that. So basically, they're walking through this blizzard. Kitty's like, I can't make it. Wolverine's like, you choose to make it or you don't. Right? And so they get there and they're like, oh, Kitty's not going to make it, but she does make it. And then she goes, she takes a little bit of a saucy bath, and she has now decided that she wants to grow up. She wants to evolve. She wants to take the next step, and she is going to defeat this. And she goes and holds the sword. She does it all night, and then she winds up leaving, and she's going to confront the dude who has been manipulating her father. This dude, Shigumatsu or whatever his name is. She confronts him, threatens him. She's badass now because even though she's trying to break this imprinting from this dude, she's got these skills, and Wolverine's been teaching her some stuff too. So she gets a new costume, she gets a new outfit, she starts donning it. She puts on, I think she's supposed to be putting on eyeliner or eyeshadow or something, but it's weird. Maybe she's supposed to give herself the domino mask through paint, but it just doesn't quite come across through the color. But this is where she first dubs herself Shadow Cat, right? So then we go to Mariko. So Mariko and her like adoptive daughter is there now, and I guess Wolverine's adoptive daughter, and they're there, and there's a shadow figure. Who is it? We think it's this dude Ogun who's coming to kill her to goad Wolverine into a confrontation. Turns out it's actually Kitty. Kitty got there first. She's after this dude now, so she's trying to fight him on her own. And even though she's able to hold her own a little bit, she obviously is not going to be much for this dude. And she's going to wind up kind of getting her ass beat, slung around, and the artwork is fantastic. Look at the way they're telling the story. Look at the movement. Look at the flow. Al Milgram's really good here. He tries to hypnotize Kitty again, but it doesn't work. She has the mental resistance. She accepts death, and then Wolverine's there and is like, hey, bub, I wouldn't recommend that you do that. Then we get to issue 6, the final issue, the final confrontation. So it turns out that this dude was Wolverine's sensei. This is a dude that taught Wolverine almost everything that he knows as far as, as ninjutsu and honor and the samurai honor and all that kind of stuff. And they're ultimately led to this confrontation. It parallels the whole fight that they had talking about this dude may be immortal and whatnot. That was a really cool parallel callback to the bridge scene that I really liked. So they're going to tussle. They're going to fight. This is nothing but just a big, bold fight scene. I love it. Look at the movement there. You see them gliding across the rooftop. Wolverine falls off. Dude jumps off after him. Kitty tries to help. Yukio is still there. All other kind of elements are moving around. Kitty's dad's there. He escapes. He winds up going to the police, freaking out. Wolverine's trying to fight this dude, and Wolverine's kind of getting his ass kicked, man. There's even a moment where he picks up a gun, tries to like fool him, freak him out. Kitty gets involved. She's trying to stop him, but it's still not good enough. She can't go up against this dude, but Wolverine's there, and then here it is. This is the moment. Wolverine gets stabbed a little bit, and he goes fucking berserker. In every single one of these books, Wolverine's got to go berserker. So he does, and then he just starts wailing on this dude. An amazing fight sequence. I just ate this shit up. I was just staring at the line work. It was blowing me away. He then decides not to kill the dude. He leaves that decision up to Kitty. My bad. Shadowcat now. She doesn't. She stops before she kills him, Wolverine now realizes that she is fully broken of his imprinting, of his brainwashing. She is her own person now, and she now has evolved. As they're talking about it, dude picks up the knife, comes after Kitty. She phases. Wolverine has to kill him. But of course, Wolverine doesn't do it in cold blood. He does it to protect Kitty. He has just killed his sensei, and he's all torn up about that. Then they eventually wind up finding Kitty's dad. He may be going to jail, but he's coming clean. He's going to turn things around, and then it's all a happy ending, and Kitty's eating ice cream at the end of the book. So that is Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, 6-issue series from Chris Claremont, Al Milgrom, several others. I have it here in the Wolverine Omnibus. It's about halfway through it. Like I said, I wasn't looking forward to reading this, but very glad that I did. It is the moment where Kitty becomes Shadowcat. I never knew that. I never saw that moment happen. I always assumed it happened like during Excalibur, right in between or something like that. But no, not the case. How does she learn some of these hardcore skills? I really like how, first of all, the artwork is freaking amazing. I could just look at this shit all day long. Al Milgrom, like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm more familiar with his finishing work, his inking, but it's here. It's all here. You may look at it, you may not think it's the most refined and tight pencils, but it's absolutely amazing as far as spreads go, composition, layouts, and the storytelling ability. I had a lot of fun with it. For Chris Claremont, he gets labeled as a verbose writer, but it works. It works so well. There's something about these comics in the 80s, the ones done right at Marvel in particular. There's a really energetic, dynamic way that they're telling the story that really makes even a verbose, expository comic book kind of flow really well. That focus in on the artwork. I absolutely love it. I love how it's the examination of the evolution of Kitty. Now, Wolverine's dealing with his stuff too, but he's just kind of thrown in. This is more of a Kitty story. It's about the loss of innocence, right? So Colossus has just broken up with her. She evolves now from Ariel, from Sprite, to Shadowcat, right? She literally gets stripped of everything. Her hair gets cut. Her clothes get cut off. Her identity gets taken away. She gets imprinted on by this ninja master. She has to overcome that. This starts that relationship that she has with Wolverine. This like big brother, uncle kind of relationship that Wolverine has going forward with a lot of people like Jubilee, for instance, right? So this is kind of the start of that. It's really interesting. She starts off scared, innocent, gullible, naive, and she ends it understanding more about who she is as a character. And it was a way for Claremont to evolve that character that I thought was absolutely exceptionally well done. I would give that 4.5 out of 5 you digs. I don't think it's as good as the Frank Miller, Chris Claremont Wolverine series, but that was doing something for Wolverine. And Frank Miller's an artist that is really hard to top. But Al Milgrom, I've been sleeping on this dude for years. I'm going to eat up everything. And coincidentally, yesterday, I'm going through a box of Spider-Man books at the shop, a lot of Spectacular Spider-Mans. He did a lot of those, and I was looking at those covers, really interesting. He mentions Al Milgrom, that he adapted a different style for this. It was more of a dashy, energetic, kind of quick, bold, thick style. But it works, and it feels effortless. It feels effortless. The artwork was top-notch, the writing and the story was great, each chapter being its own story, but in an overall narrative perfectly structured as a whole that would service itself as a graphic novel. If you've never read Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, I would highly recommend it. I may actually be interested in picking up newsstand, or not newsstand, but actual comic book versions of this from the 80s. It's from 84 to 85, by the way, just to see what that color's like on the newsprint. But all in all, I loved it. I thought it was top-notch, and one of the biggest surprises that I've had going through this Wolverine omnibus so far. Thought it was great. What do you think about Kitty Pryde and Wolverine? Let me know. And that's been Marvel in the 80s. Wu-Tang says, Kitty wears black makeup around her eyes, gets a mullet, and becomes a ninja. Bruce does it, and he's emo. Hey, the video has 69 likes. Nice. Yeah. Station. Odin, he was the base for the Toy Biz Wolverine. Oh, nice. With the mask and shit? Hell yeah. Saucy Bath. Dude does his ninja mind moves, and Kitty wakes up and is like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is better than the Batman. Well, things will change. I'll rewatch it. We'll see what happens. Maybe when I rewatch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I'll be like, yeah, it did suck. I had my expectations so low on that movie. Big Herm says, I like Kitty before the Kate. Jelani says, I like Kitty and Kate. Two Gun says, she'll always be Kitty to me. Jelani says, Wolverine likes making fuck. Did he just say making fuck? Okay, I thought so. I am waiting for you to get the Milestone Compendium Volume 1 and to hear your thoughts. Well, we met the goal tonight. We reached the Milestone Compendium goal, so that will be coming soon, and we'll eventually start adding in some Milestone in the 90s bits. Very excited for that. The show's not done, but we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Drunken Master, top 5 movies of 1977, and we're going to be talking about the Juggernaut episode of X-Men, the animated series. We'll be right back here on Rockin' Robbie Live.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't playing no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll
Welcome back, everybody, to Rockin Robbie Live here on Pop Culture Philosophers on a Sunday night. It's actually March 6, 2022, to be exact. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. We've been having a grand old time talking about movies, comics, pop culture, and a whole lot more. We have looked back to last week and talked about our favorite comic books. We looked ahead this week at what was coming out, including the DC Comics sneak peek. We did a non-spoiler review of The Batman, all collectively. We respectfully disagree on certain aspects, but overall it seems like we all like the movie. Marvel in the 80s, we just wrapped that up right before we did the break with Kitty Pryde and Wolverine. I had a question. Let's see. William says, so what is the next Marvel in the 80s? I never know. I don't really got... That's one thing I don't have planned out. What I do have planned out is what I'm going to do collectively, but I don't know what I'm going to do week to week. But one of the next Wolverine in the 80s will be that Captain America annual with Wolverine and Cap with the Mike Zeck stuff, right? We're also planning on doing Extinction Agenda because I've been going through Rob Liefeld's New Mutants, and that's the next step on that. There's also Image in the 90s, and I think next week is going to be an Image in the 90s. And it's probably going to be... I'm leaning towards Wildstar right now because I can't find all my pits right now. But there you go. Wu-Tang says, the Batman, from an execution standpoint, the rendering of a vision, it's a chef's kiss. And I'm done. It's all love. I just disagree. It's okay. We can do... I don't mind, brother. I hope you don't mind. We're all good. Wu-Tang also says, Wu-Tang's killing it tonight. I can see Mullet Kitty bopping to this after getting her mind back. And Jeff is here. One love from Chicago. Hell yeah. Station. Hell yeah. All right, we're going to have a grand old time tonight. First of all, you can follow me on Twitter at @TheRockinRobbie. Join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, follow Pop Culture Philosophers there. We're on Instagram. I do an Instagram live show every Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. As part of Whiplash Wednesday leading into Big Herm Collectibles, Let's Talk About It Remastered here on YouTube on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central Time. But I show the comic books I bought that day, some back issues, some new comics, and I sing a song or two. So that's always fun. That's on Instagram, Pop Culture Philosophers. You can support the channel at patreon.com/PCP or with Super Chat tonight, which triggers something. Rob, anybody in the YouTube comic echo chamber that you think is a fuckboy? Not that I can think of. I don't have really negative opinions about too many people here on the YouTubes. And we're going to continue these hard Mountain Dews right there. So hard Mountain Dews, we're doing the Black Cherry. So this isn't Code Red, it's Black Cherry. I thought the Mountain Dew and the Baja Blast was fine. The Baja Blast being my favorite. That smells good. That's my favorite one so far. Or maybe it's just because I'm the third one. Anybody that I think is a fuckboy. I'm trying to think if I actually have an answer for this. But I can't. No. Not really. No. Or maybe I'm just kayfabing and don't want to say online. But no, I can't really honestly think of anybody that I don't like in this community or on YouTube in general. Now, there's like bigger YouTubes I think are like I don't give a shit about, but I don't engage in them with them, so I don't really know, right? Rob, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the dew. I'm telling you, man, hard dew needs to get PCP involved. That and corn nuts. I'm ready. These hard dews, is this a new thing? Are they out there? I had no idea. Yeah, they're a new thing, and they are out there. So what's coming up here on the channel? Check it out. PCP March Madness continues tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time, here on PCP Movie Night with Manhunter. Then it continues over at Dylan's Horror Show with Dead and Buried from 1981. Never seen that movie. Very excited to get into it. There is the March Madness lineup. We did the Entity last night on Dylan's Horror Show. We alternate a great lineup. Manhunter tomorrow night. Dead and Buried this Saturday, and then going forward, From Beyond, Dolls. That's right, Stuart Gordon double feature. The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, a Dario Argento film. Midsummer, The movie everybody's been wanting me to check out, and Joe Corallo's first appearance on Dylan's Horror Show, and we're ending it with April Fool's Day. Fun fact, The Entity and April Fool's Day, Charles Bernstein did the score on both of those films, including Nightmare on Elm Street, too. So, I mean, he's the guy who did Nightmare on Elm Street. What I'm trying to say, whatever. You get it. And tomorrow night, join me over at The Experience for the Dynamite show. Let's talk about it.
Hello, Dynamite fans. I'm here to give you your weekly sneak peek of what is coming up this Monday, March 7th on The Experience. First up, we're going to have Venom number 35, Legacy number 200, and it's the Jock Virgin variant. How cool is this cover? We're also featuring Batman and Fortnite 0 Point number 1, signed by Christos Gage. There's only 50 of these in the world. Get them while you can. If you're an Alex Ross fan, you're going to love this. Justice Incorporated number 4, and there's only 5 of these in the world, and this is number 2, and it's signed in gold by Alex himself. We're gonna have these books, version covers, a mega kit, a statue, and so much more. So please come hang out with us this Monday, March 7th at 6 p.m. only on The Experience. I'll be here with John and Rex and Robbie. We're gonna have a great time, and hopefully you will join us. Hope to see you then.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope to see you tomorrow night over at The Experience. I have a grand old time talking with Rex and John and Amy about comic books. Sometimes Nick Barucci himself, the man himself, will make an appearance. It's always a fun, good old time, having a great topic of for conversation. And they also got some really slam bang deals, and people go get some dope statues. Really quick, I liked Batman. Right, I love how this is getting misconstrued as I don't like the Batman. Just because I pointed out I like the Batman. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, you digs. I like the Batman. I had some issues with it, but I liked it. I gave it the same rating as Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was an hour and 20 minutes or something. Maybe that gives... I think movies are too long. Batman, I felt, was a little too long. It gives TCM the edge. The edge on me. Joe says, I remembered Wildstar, but he only had one series. That's why we can cover it all. Chill Out Man says, I'm watching Dolls tonight. Hell yeah. 3.5's not that low. It's a 7 out of 10. It's not that low. Come on. It's not that low. Mod DJ 8000 says the Laker HBO show is fire. I've been wanting to check that out. I'm glad to hear that. I need to check that out. Jelani says the Batman is great, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre is better. All right, let's change subject. Let's talk about another movie. My Sifu, Bullseye Bob, who's not here because he's rewatching the Batman because he loved it. So you need to check out the movie's like a teen. Okay. Anyway, Bob's not here because he's watching the Batman again because he loved it. So you need to check out the video that I did with Bullseye Bob and Verno over at Verno's channel, The Cerebros. Jelani was there. It was a really great show. I didn't see that Foo Fighters movie. Yeah, I did. Anyway, the next movie in my journey is a 1978 classic when Jackie Chan broke out in Hong Kong cinema. We're talking about Drunken Master tonight. Drunken Master from 1978. So this movie is directed by what is it? It's Ween Wu Ping. Wu Ping was the choreographer of like The Matrix and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and Kill Bill. So it's another film that this dude is attached to, which is a common theme. But this is a big Jackie Chan movie. I know a lot of people are familiar with the second one that got released here in 2000 as Legend of Drunken Master. But I liked this movie. I thought it was fun. So it stars Jackie Chan. This is early in his career. This was the first big one, I think, for him. It's a follow-up to another film I think he had done. A follow-up not necessarily in story, but with the creators and actors involved. But it's about this dude, and he's just kind of like a jackass dude, right? He's based on, if I remember correctly, he's based on an actual like hero, like a folk hero. I'm trying to figure out who the dude's name is. Usually I have Bob here, but I don't. So I'm like Wong Fei Hung. And he's just kind of, he doesn't really take his training seriously. He goofs around with his friends. He just doesn't really do anything the right way according to his dad, and he brings dishonor to the house, and he winds up being sent to train with his hard-ass uncle, who is just this absolute drunken dude, and the training scenes start again, and he doesn't like it, and he's basically like, fuck you, bruh, I'm out of here. He dips out. He meets this dude named Thunderlegs or some shit. I watched the English dub of this. It was on YouTube. I rented it on YouTube, and it was ridiculous. I'd love to see it in the original Cantonese or whatever, but this dude shows up, and Jackie Chan's character doesn't take anything seriously, right? And this dude shows up after Jackie Chan said, fuck everything, and you know, screw your rules, screw your society, screw your training, I'm out of here. This dude shows up, kicks his fucking ass, insults him, makes him walk in between his legs, and then burns his fucking pants. Like, literally, bro, it's the most stone cold fucking shit. He straight up kicks this dude's ass. He kicks Jackie Chan's ass and burns his pants. And this dude's just naked. He has to go back to his uncle, beg for forgiveness. He understands the errors of his way. His uncle then is like, you're ready now to learn the drunken style. So there's like 8 drunken gods. They have 8 different styles. And so he gets Jackie Chan drunk as fuck and starts teaching him these techniques. And the drunken style is a beautifully awkward and elegant thing to watch. It's really interesting. And the work that Jackie Chan does in this movie through the fight scenes, the choreography, just the movement of his body is absolutely amazing. And it's rather funny. This incredible movie is very funny. So ultimately it leads to Thunderlegs coming back, and Jackie Chan then gets drunk, starts getting his ass kicked again, gets drunk, uses his techniques, kicks the dude's ass, and the movie ends. I had a lot of fun with it. It's a very goofy, hokey movie, and at first I was like, oh man, I don't necessarily like some of the comedic elements in some of these old school kung fu movies that I watch. Now, most of these movies that Bob has let me watch, I've really enjoyed. But overall, it's the goofier elements that tend to not really please me as much. So at first, I was feeling that. But when we get introduced to his uncle, the drunken master, and we get back into some training, I kind of like the movie, and I think I'll like the movie more as I revisit it, and it is something I'm going to revisit. I love the comedy in this one. It is goofy. It abandons elements of the story in the third act. It just doesn't matter because it's all about when this dude comes back. That being said, it's got some really brilliantly paced moments. All right, let's run through it again. So Jackie Chan starting off as this dude who doesn't give a fuck about things. He doesn't take his training seriously. He's being disrespectful. He gets sent to this dude. He's still not learning his lessons. He says whatever. But the moment this dude kicks his ass, that story really amped up. This dude burns his pants. You're like, it is fucking on. Then he learns those drunken styles. He has that final confrontation. The comedic bits are there. The stunts by Jackie Chan, obviously a big fan of Buster Keaton. He's kind of doing that kind of stuff. He's doing a little bit of, he's bringing some slapstick into it. He's bringing stunt work. It's really freaking fun. All in all, knowing that I don't necessarily like some of the goofier elements of things, and it does abandon elements of the story. There's this whole thing about this like corrupt gang or something. They just abandon. Who gives a shit? It never resolves. So it does abandon its story. It doesn't really do too much as a character piece outside of just your typical kind of arc, but it is fun. It is fun. It's got amazing action. I'm going to give this one a 3.5, the highest level of 3.5, which here we call a 3.69. So I want to know, what do you think about Drunken Master? What do you rate it? And just what are your recollections? This was a good one. Next week, we're doing Jet Li's Fearless. So this was a fun one. Another one recommended by my Seafood Bullseye Bob. Wu-Tang says, this movie is amazing. Yin Wu Ping has some bangers from this era. And I probably am butchering his name. Kung Fu movies always had a porno feel. Now, here's one thing. I want to watch this in the original Cantonese just to see because the dub was so bad. I mean, I get it. It's funny how bad it is, but I there was something about the dub that was just so bad that kind of threw me off a little bit. But at the same time, I had a lot of fun. And it was, I think I picked up on the idea that it was one of the first popular Kung Fu comedies. Not the first one at all, but whatever. I watched a little bit of the Cinemassacre review, and there's not a lot of coverage of this on YouTube. But because when I watch a movie, I love to watch people's thoughts about it. I love to have that conversation. So, really cool. Wu-Tang says, damn, Robbie, I didn't know you fucked with Kung Fu movies. This is taking me back. Yeah, that was an element of my watching, because I'm a big cinephile, right? But one of my things I've never really gotten into was Kung Fu martial arts movies, things like that. So my buddy Bullseye Bob's a big fan of that. He does on Instagram on his page, Everything Comics, Bullseye Bob, he does Kung Fu Friday. He's a big fan. So he started giving me a list of movies, and he's guiding me in, and I've watched so many great movies, some that have become perennial favorites in my life, like 36 Chambers Shaolin and Hero, which blew me the fuck away. Last week we did Ip Man. I'd never watched Ip Man. That movie blew me the fuck away. I gave it 5 you digs. I gave Hero 5 you digs. I gave 36 Chamber 5 you digs. He's got me into the 4 Deadly Venoms. I watched Invincible Shaolin. It's some really fucking... I watched The Mystery of Chess Boxing, Master of the Flying Guillotine. Bob has been sending me on a really cool fucking journey. And next week is Fearless. Jet Li's Fearless. So yeah, subs over dubs all day, but that wasn't the option on YouTube. But I agree. Joe says, I love Shaolin Soccer and Kung Fu Hustle. I've never seen Shaolin Soccer, but I did watch Kung Fu Hustle on this journey, and I loved that fucking movie. Mark's here. Mark McGrath says, there are at least 2 Wildstar miniseries. Ordway doesn't do the art duties on the second one, though. Okay, gotcha. Mod says, Drunken Master 2 is a lot better. I'll definitely check that out again. I remember watching that a little bit when I worked at the movie theater, when it came out, the English dub, Legend of Drunken Master. Chan and Hunger, 2 of my favorite fight choreographers of all time, says Wu-Tang. Hell yeah. This movie's definitely got a porno kind of feel to it at times, especially with with Thunder Legs, with the stash and shit. Peep Jackie's The Young Master, if you haven't yet. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. The second was around the same time as Rumble in the Bronx. I have seen bits of Rumble in the Bronx. I remember watching that back in the day. Two Gun says, Drunken Master was hilarious. Agree with 3.69 you digs. Wu-Tang says, Ip Man's fight scenes are punishing. Love it. Yeah, I love that movie. I'm about to go follow the dude right now, Bullseye Bob. If somebody let me know if I have any mods left in the chat, link up Bullseye Bob's Instagram page. I don't remember if it's at Bullseye Bob or if it's at Everything Comics. It's one of the two. All right, we're time to switch gears. Still talking about movies, but we're talking about our favorite movies of 1977, starting now. 1977's a good year. Let's kick it off. At number 5, we got a Martin Scorsese classic. At least to me, it's New York, New York. Liza Minnelli, Robert De Niro. It's Martin Scorsese's musical, but it's not like a musical like you're thinking. But it is a musical way of filmmaking, but in a 70s kind of gritty, real drama kind of way. I fucking love this movie. I think it's an underappreciated classic for Martin Scorsese. I love the performances by Robert De Niro and Liza Minnelli. I love the sets. I love the cinematography, the design, the music. Love it. At number 4, Star Wars. I thought we had too many hot takes tonight. Or I didn't think we had enough hot takes tonight. So at number 4 for my favorite movies of 1977, I'm going Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I'm not as big of a Star Wars fan as a lot of other people in my life, but I understand its place in history, and I ball on this movie. I fucking love it. I think it's great. It's super solid. Empire's my favorite out of the entire franchise, but New Hope is dope, and I get it. It wasn't New Hope back then. But number 4, Star Wars. At number 3, The Hills Have Eyes. Yes. Wes Craven doing The Hills Have Eyes, another movie explaining the hypocrisy of right and wrong, of left and right, the hypocrisy of human expression at times, but the dangers of the real life and how cushy our existence can be and what it's like when we're confronted with reality. We're all the same. The Hills Have Eyes. I love this movie. So freaking good. And one of the things I cannot forgive of 2020 is that when Dylan had the opportunity to review this film, he chose to review the remake and the sequel to the remake, which is okay, but not the original. At number 2, we're going Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's right. I love this movie. I'm big into UFOs. I'm big into Contact. I'm big into this kind of ideas. I'm big into Spielberg films. And I understand that Star Wars is the more loved, film from this era, the bigger, more grandiose special effects treat, but to me, Close Encounters is doing a little bit more of a personal story and a mysterious story that somehow has always fascinated me. I absolutely love this movie. It's my second favorite movie of 77, and number 1 is no surprise to anybody that follows this channel. I'm a big fan of horror movies. Horror is my favorite genre, and Italian horror is one of my favorite subgenres of horror in cinema. Suspiria is from Dario Argento, one of my favorite directors. This is my favorite film from this director. It's one of my favorite films of all time. It's one of my favorite horror films of all time. Dario Argento's Suspiria. Perfect music, perfect visuals, perfect pacing, a surreal, dreamlike experience. Holy hell. If you've never seen Suspiria, you really have to. We finally got to unpack it on a horror fest last year. So recapping, number 5, New York. Number 4, Star Wars. Number 3, The Hills Have Eyes. Number 2, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And number 1, Suspiria. Those are my top 5 favorite movies of 1977. What are yours? When we started going through the 70s films, the first couple years, I was like, this is hard to pick a top 5 because I think I've only seen 4 or 5, 6 of these movies. But as we're getting into it now, like it started like in 74-ish or so, like it's loaded. They're loaded years for film. We've already done through all the 80s and all the 90s. When we wrap up the 70s, we're going into the 2000s. So there you go. Third Rail says, Fearless is great. Very excited to check it out. Joe says, I've seen all 4 Ip Mans, my bad. William, top 5 77 films: Suspiria, The Island of Dr. Moreau, Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, The Hills Have Eyes, and Star Wars. Excellent. We had 3 of the same ones there. Bob's IG is Everything Comics. There you go. Sick pick. Hell yeah. Wu-Tang says, Close Encounters, so good. Preach it. You know it. What is the most shocking movie I've ever watched? What is the most shocking movie I've ever watched? Shocking. Okay, first of all of these are going to be by context. So at the context of at the time that I watched them, it was very fucking shocking. So these are movies that were shocking to me when I first watched them. Basket Case. Society. What else we got? Shocking movies. Shocking. Kids. Requiem for a Dream. What else? I had one and I lost it. Shocking. Cannibal Holocaust. Yeah, I'll go with those ones. Probably. Those were shocking movies to me when I first watched them. Yeah, Basket Case is wild. Yeah. That's a way to put it. Oh, Joe's got some good ones. Mel Brooks' High Anxiety, Pete's Dragon, and The Island of Dr. Moreau. Lords of Flatbush, early Stallone movie. Okay. Never seen that one. Billy says, Star Wars didn't just change science fiction, it changed our pop culture and Hollywood. Absolutely. Correct there. All right, y'all. What do you think? Top 5 favorite movies from 1977. Y'all usually give me some good lists. While you're thinking about it, we're going to take a pause for station identification. There's a, I don't know if this counts, but there's a Takashi Miike film called Imprint. That was part of Masters of Horror. That was rather shocking when I first watched it. Storytelling, says Billy, it's a Todd Schultz film. Sallow and Serbian film, the two most what the fuck movies I've ever watched, says Wu-Tang. Mark says, that's a good list. I would have to put Eraserhead on mine for sure. I thought about that. Honorable mention. I like Close Encounters, but I have issues with how awful apparent Richard Dreyfuss' character is. Yeah, he basically, the whole point of that movie is fuck your family, bruh. Go to space. Thank you, Wu-Tang. The Warriors, was that 78? Third Rail says, The Warriors. Okay, Twitch, here we go. High Anxiety, The Hobbit, the animated one, A Bridge Too Far, Smokey and the Bandit, and Star Wars. There you go. Good top fives, y'all. If you got any more, throw them out. We're about to move on to the next bit. Imprint was hard to watch. The fingernails. Oof, yeah, bruh. I remember buying the DVD set in the mausoleum just so I could get a hold of Imprint. I love it. Have you ever seen The Happiness of the Katakuris or whatever? I watched that for the first time a few weeks ago. That was weird. It's not like fucked up like that movie or like some of his others. Audition didn't shock me, but Audition really fucking got me when I first watched it. That's probably my favorite of his. All right. We're going through the X-Men animated series. We're on episode 8, The Unstoppable Juggernaut. So let's get to it. This is your annotation on X-Men animation. All right, episode 8 is The Unstoppable Juggernaut. We just got back from Genosha, where Cyclops and Rogue and Jean came to the aid of the X-Men, Gambit, Jubilee, and Storm, who were slaves in Genosha. They got freed. They showed up. The mansion is destroyed. They dig into the war room. They have a message from Xavier that he's gone somewhere to investigate something that could possibly revolutionize and change mutant kind. We'll find out more about that, right? So they're sitting there. Wolverine's like, I got a scent. I'm going to go hunt down who did this. And Cyclops is like, Wolverine, we got to stay together. Xavier wants us to act as a team. And Wolverine's like, shove it, Cyclops. Fuck you, basically. Right? So he leaves, and then Cyclops is like, Storm, take Rogue and Jubilee and go into town and keep an eye on Wolverine. Wolverine runs into this dude, Colossus. Jubilee meets up with him. Rogue and Storm are still doing their thing. They meet Colossus. He's doing some construction work, actually some demolition work, some destruction work. And he's pissing off a lot of the locals who feel like he's taking their jobs because he's demolishing this business. And then he also gets misidentified as somebody, this giant mutant who was robbing a bank. So he gets thrown into jail. But Storm and Rogue go and bust him out. We actually get a little bit of Beast in this episode. We haven't seen him in a few episodes. And once again, he just shows up and he's like, waiting my day in court. Like, damn it, man. I remember being a kid and just being like, Beast, bust out. But they bust him out. Turns out Wolverine has found the real culprit of the destruction of the X-Mansion and all the bank robberies, and it's Juggernaut. He has a past with Juggernaut. They mention it. He starts getting his ass kicked. Jubilee's getting her ass kicked. It's all in danger. And then look what's going on. The X-Men show up, and they have to actually do teamwork. So they come up with an idea together. Jean tells them that he's vulnerable to psychic attack. They got to get the helmet off. They all work together with Colossus. They get the helmet off. Rogue tries to absorb his powers. She gets overblown. That's a great moment where she's just like, they love my brother, not me. Ah! And like, goes crazy. Storm has to go calm her down. She has to get rid of all this energy. She has to just blow it all out in one burst. They get Wolverine's helmet off. Juggernaut's helmet off, obviously. So Jean shows up with Cerebro, and she mind wipes him. He doesn't remember who she is, and she wanders off, and then, of course, she passes out like she does in every single one of these episodes. Then it ends the episode with them rebuilding the X-Mansion. Colossus is there to help out. Wolverine invites him to join the X-Men. He says no, he has to find a sister and find out more about this character. Meanwhile, Xavier is still missing. So, there's the DVD set that I have. This ended episode, disc 1, The Unstoppable Juggernaut. I do want to go over the X-Men Adventures. I did not do this last week when we did Slave Island, but I wish I would have, because I just found these. I had to find them, what box they were in. But the Slave Island episode, they actually broke up into 2 issues of X-Men Adventures, because there was a lot of story to unpack there, so that was pretty cool, I thought. But we're going to go into this X-Men Adventures number 9, which is this episode 8. How is that number 9, episode 8, but they turned Slave Island into 2? Night of the Sentinels was 2. Huh, that's weird how that works. Anyway, this is it right here. There's some differences, and that's what's really funny about comparing and contrasting. So I'm going to try to do more of this. So they show up, first of all, in the book, only part of the mansion is destroyed. And look at that Mario ad. So only part of the mansion is destroyed, not the whole thing. There's this whole subplot in here where Jean feels like Cyclops does not allow her to go on the missions, and Gambit's trying to get her to be more confident in herself. She's also using Cerebro to figure these out. There's the argument with Wolverine. The artwork in this one is really good. Of course, it's written by Ralph, not the Karate Kid Machio, but it's Andrew Wildman doing the inking and the penciling, which I like. There's an ad for Marvel Series 4, one of my favorite Marvel trading card lines. So it's different here. So in the show, Jubilee, Rogue, and Storm split up, and Jubilee finds Wolverine. They're the ones that find Colossus. Here, the 3 of them find Colossus, and he's in his costume. He's not in his costume in the show, but he is in this comic. And like I said, some really great artwork there. So that's another difference. And I wonder if the differences are just things that they embellished on here, or if it's from like original scripts or something. Because we noticed that in the Sabretooth issue, like the dude actually dies. Like the native guy actually dies. And in this one, there are no construction workers getting pissed off at Colossus. There's like this one dude's like, this guy's my best worker. I love him. I'm not prejudiced against mutants. But then Wolverine finds Juggernaut alone. So in the episode, Wolverine and Jubilee meet Colossus. He gets arrested. There is no arresting of Colossus in here. Then we got a big batch of ads for Marvel Comics stuff. It's cool to look through those. I wish I could get a second camera to look down, and I could like kayfabe it and like flip through this book and talk about it that way. I got to get something like that set up. Not to rip them off or nothing, but for these kind of things, it would really work. Anyway, there's a great double page splash of Juggernaut. So the artwork in this one is really good. And I haven't been revisiting some of these in a long time. But like, look at that Wolverine right there. So Wolverine finds Juggernaut. He's trying to deal with it. He can't deal with it, obviously, as well as he would like to. The X-Men show up. Now Jean and them are there. Rogue absorbing his powers and going crazy is literally just a panel. She shows back up on the next page. She's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. So that's a little weird. Jean comes in. She doesn't need Cerebro in the comic. She mind wipes him. And then the same thing at the end. They're rebuilding some of the mansion. But Colossus says, I'll get my homie, the contractor, to rebuild that part of the mansion for you. And Cyclops turns him down. Cyclops asks him to stay. And he refuses, not Wolverine. And then at the end there, Jean thanks Gambit for her confidence boost. So a way different story than the one in the animated series. So that's something really cool about X-Men Adventures, is to compare and contrast them to the shows. So we're going to continue to do that going forward on an annotation on X-Men animation. All right. Two movies that made me leave the lights on when I first saw them was The First Exorcist and The First Halloween. Hell yeah, Joe. Big Herm loves the X-Men animated series bit. Warrior 79. There you go. Say his name, it's Morph. Colossus with the arm bar of doom. The Gene passing out like the Stan Lee days. Hell yeah. Who has the X-Men animated series Pizza Hut VHS? Hold on a second. Station identification. I only have the first one, but there it is right there. I need to get the second one, but there's the one with Night of the Sentinels. How cool is that? Freaking cool. But yeah, the Pizza Hut, I had them when I was a kid, but Brooks recently gave me that. So very excited. I want to get the second one because those were things I watched over and over and over. So yeah. And it's got the little bits with, is it Bob Harris, Fabian Nicieza, Scott Lobdell, and Stan Lee talking about the X-Men? Big Herm says, man, my childhood friend had that Wu-Tang. Yeah, I want to get the second one. Second one had Deadly Reunions and Inner Magneto. Yeah, Wu-Tang's right. About to flex his VHS. I really do like the art in this one. It's really good. I wonder if this Andrew Wildman guy did anything else. Some great ads, though. Super Mario Brothers, y'all. That dates it. There's also this cool bit in the back. I thought it was neat because I was reading the letters column. And so there's this moment where someone says, a guy wrote in and says, I just finished reading X-Men Adventures number 7. I thought the artwork and storyline were both excellent, especially Cable. I read in X-Men Adventures number 7 that there is no chance of Morph coming back. And he's upset and he gives his own fan fiction. But editorial puts in a little thing, goes, editor's note. At the time X-Men Adventures number 7 came out, we had no idea that the creators of the animated series would be reviving Morph in the second season. Honest. So this must have been published towards the beginning of the second season when Morph is in fact resurrected by Mr. Sinister. So there you go. Thank you, Wu-Tang. Hey, Nick from Comic Culture in the house, getting the kid to bed, but just wanted to jump in and say, Station. We're nearing the end of the show. We've done all the fun bits. We did Marvel in the 80s. We did X-Men Annotation on X-Men Animation. We did a Drunken Master review and the Batman review. We did DC Sneak Peek. We've had a great frickin' show. And we've been trying these hard Mountain Dews that are not that bad. I'll be honest. I kind of like them. Kind of dig them. So anyway, we got a lot for show and tell tonight, so let's get into it. First up, a little bit of a comic haul. A little bit of a comic haul before we get to a wonderful AOK from Two Gun Pedro. So I picked up Dynamite Never Dies number 1. I got that Tony Fleece Mummy homage variant cover, which I thought was amazing. I picked up a Peter Parker Spider-Man 42 with Jim Monfoot on the artwork. Zeb Wells. This is a 2-part story I found out, so I got to get the second part. Speaking of Jim Monfoot, I'm on a big kick trying to recreate or recollect a bunch of my old stuff. Generation X Underground Special. There is Phantom Force number 1, the Jack Kirby Image comic from the beginnings of Image. A Rip Claw special from Top Cow and Image. The Savage Dragon versus the Savage Megaton Man from Don Simpson and Eric Larson. There's Savage Dragon ongoing number 1. And a Savage Dragon 83. That's one of the issues with Madman. And a Freak Force number 1. So I picked those up this last week. I showed those off on my Instagram show, Comics and Karaoke with Rockin Robbie. Every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Also got this in this week. It's the 8-Ball number 1. This is a 5th printing signed by Daniel Clowes. The signature looks a little... The Clowes looks fine. The D doesn't... I don't know if this is actually a signature, but I didn't pay anything extra for the signature. But I want to have every issue of 8-Ball regardless of the printing. So that was cool to get that. Then we've got an awesome AOK from our dude, Two Gun Pedro. First of all, got me a Doom Patrol number 70, I believe. Yeah, Volume 2, number 70. That's the first appearance of Codpiece. Longtime fans of the show, and Bueller and me and our stuff that we do together will understand the significance of the first appearance of Codpiece. So that's dope. But also sent me another big batch of Wizards. Definitely awesome. So, got the Image Wizard Special Edition. That's cool. Got a number 10. Number 11. And I didn't have these, so thank you so much, Two Gun. A number 12. And most of these are still like bagged with the card. Of course, I'm going to open them up. You should show off those Wizard cards one day. You know I will. Number 13. Great Ghost Rider cover. I was just watching that Cartoonist Kayfabe video like a week ago. Number 14. With the X-Women. Number 15. Hell yeah. Number 16. With Pitt and Max. This is during the Darker Image days. We covered Darker Image on Image in the 90s last week. Number 29, Spawn cover with Violator. And a number 30, Beavis and Butthead. And one of my favorites, a number 31, which is the start of Legend, which is some of the best comics of the 90s. You got Martha Washington, Hellboy, his name was, and even Sin City. Hell yeah. Thank you, Two Gun. You are the best. That's 3 weeks in a row of great AOKs from the community, so thank you so much, Station. Comic Book Rob in the house. Robbie, hope life is treating you good. It is. Hope life's treating you good, bro. Over hard Mountain Dew? Yes. All right. Showed this off last night on Dylan's Horror Show, but I got my NECA Frankenstein. They do black and white and colorized versions of each of these for the Universals, what they're going to do, but I'm going to get the colorized versions, but it's a beautiful figure. We're going to open that one day. But very cool. Here's the Blame Fable part of the show. First of all, I already wanted this. So this is just to blame Robbie, his own damn self. But I got it. This is the Ultimate Expanse. It's the Wolverine, or my bad, the X-Men X-Jet Blackbird Transformer collab. So I picked that up. Very excited to open that up one day. Check it out. This is my Blame Fable, though. Pretty sure I saw Fable show this off. Instantaneously went to Mike and said, I need one of these. And here we are. I got an Astro Train. Because I was talking about it. It's like, oh man, I passed on the Astro Train and I really regret it because he goes from robot to space shuttle to train. Bruh, I got it. This is a used one. So it's actually been, I think it's been open before. Or maybe it hasn't. I don't know. But I'm going to open the fuck out of this eventually. But I got an Astro Train, y'all. Pretty dope. Rob, how do we send you goodies? Contact me at popculturephilosophers@gmail.com and I can let you know the deets there. Nick says, I cracked open my Batman Year 2 McFarlane yesterday, had to let it breathe and bend the plastic back into place. I have heard that's had so many problems. That's why I haven't picked it up, man. I got access to one right now, and I have chosen not to get it. But it looks so freaking good, doesn't it? Come on, man. It looks so freaking good. Anyway, yeah, that's what we got for show and tell tonight. Did he just say open the fuck? Did he? Okay. Now we get to move on to the final 5 because we no longer do the first 9 or the first 6 and the final 9. We do the first 5 and the final 5 in honor of Bueller, who has asked us to carry on the legacy. So that's very exciting. We're going through my Blu-ray collection, continuing to do so. We have The Omen. That is the 2006 remake. So there you go. That's all 5 of the Omen films. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the box, because the box is awesome. But, you know, they all go in there. Oh, I put them all in backwards. Anyway, the box in the Scream Factory Omen collection is amazing. Look at that artwork. How cool is that? Freaking cool. Continuing on, One Missed Call. That's the Arrow edition of the One Missed Call trilogy. All 3 films, including the first one by Takashi Miike. We were talking about Dario Argento. Opera, right there. Here's a movie I haven't seen in a long time. I picked it up on a Vinegar Syndrome sale recently. Pale Blood. Used to love this movie back in the day, so I'm excited to revisit that one day. And then finally, this one, it's Panic. It's actually Satanic Panic, but the slipcase says Panic for some reason. I have heard good things about this movie, but most recently, I think our homie in the PCP Army, Sam Fett, said he really liked it, but I have not watched it yet. But I do keep it in the P's just because it's got a P on it, even though it's called Satanic Panic. But for some reason, the slip just says Panic. Whatever, but there's your final 5 for tonight. Fables like Astro Train. Hell yeah, bruh. Very excited for both of these, man. I got several Transformers piling up that need unboxings. But yeah, bruh. Yeah, bruh. Me and you are Transformer brothers, man. You're more into it than I am. But I could not resist that damn... I love the collaborations. I hate Top Gun, but now I feel like I should have gotten the Top Gun one, man. It's like, what the hell? Anyway, that's been the show. Thank you all so much for checking us out. Don't forget, PCP Movie Night continues on tomorrow night with March Madness, Manhunter. Then on Saturday, Dead and Buried over at Dylan's Horror Show. There's the March Madness lineup. It's going to be a grand old time every single week. Y'all have been the best. This has been a great show. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, all that jazz and more. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. We are the PCP Army. Thanks for rocking with us. Station. Pop, pop. Boom.
Hello, Dynamite fans. I'm here to give you your weekly sneak peek of what is coming up this Monday, March 7th on The Experience. First up, we're going to have Venom number 35, Legacy number 200, and it's the Jock Virgin variant. How cool is this cover? We're also featuring Batman and Fortnite 0. Number 1, signed by Christos Gage. There's only 50 of these in the world. Get them while you can. If you're an Alex Ross fan, you're going to love this. Justice Incorporated, number 4, and there's only 5 of these in the world, and this is number 2, and it's signed in gold by Alex himself. We're going to have these books, Virgin covers, a mega kit, a statue, and so much more. So please come hang out with us this Monday, March 7th at 6 p.m. only on The Experience. I'll be here with John and Rex and Robbie. We're going to have a great time, and hopefully you will join us. Hope to see you then.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quite so thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic with this logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim. Yeah.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
So, Coke's got this new drink called Coca-Cola Starlight. This is the zero sugar version of it. It was another gift left to me by Mike before he went off on tour. So he gave me like 3 or 4 of these little tiny cans. And I planned on doing a live taste test here tonight. But I'm going to be honest. One night this last week, I broke down and I just tried it. So I'm going to tell you what I feel about it. But I am going to drink this. Because this shit's fucking awesome. First of all, Coca-Cola Starlight, what is it supposed to be? It says space flavored. What the fuck space tastes like? Like space flavored? Space flavored. Really. Some people got fucking allergies. Some people don't like certain fucking flavors. What flavor is this? If I would have drinking this and it was like a watermelon fucking Coke, I'd be pissed, okay? Now, there's a zero sugar version, which this is, and a non-zero sugar version. I'm going to tell you something. I've only tried the zero sugar version. I fucking love it. What does space taste like? Apparently fucking Tab. This, and I loved Tab when I was a kid. I've always loved diet sodas. This is a diet soda. I don't know what the regular one tastes like. Well, maybe we'll do that next week if I can find it. This shit, though, makes me think of fucking Tab. So, space tastes like fucking Tab. There you go. 4.5 out of 5, you digs. Spinning that around. I tried this Wendy's Frosty cereal. You know me, I'm a cereal head. I love it. I have actually taken a break from cereal. I have not had cereal in several weeks, months even, right? So I got really excited. I was like, I'm going to try this tonight, and I'm going to report on it for Rockin Robbie Live. This fucking cereal sucks. This fucking shit sucks, guys. This is so freaking bad. So first of all, it should be easy. It should just be Cocoa Puffs with Marbits. That's what it is. It's just Cocoa Puffs with Marbits. Number 1, the shittiest generic Cocoa Puffs you've ever had. Think about something worse than that. You're going to think about what this is. Cardboard texture, shit flavor, not rich, bullshit. Then you got the Marbits. These are the Marbits that fell off the fucking conveyor belt when they're making cereal Marbits. These ones fell off the fucking conveyor belt into the goddamn milk chocolate fucking factory, fell out of there into the fucking dirt, got ate by a worm, shit out from that worm. Somebody found it, reformed it into a fucking Marbit, and then that was this. This cereal sucks ass. One you dig, one bowl for one you dig, one you dig. That shit sucks. The cheapest fucking... Fuck that shit. They're going to get all of us to buy that because we like Wendy's Frosties. Fuck that shit. I love Wendy's. I do. And I'm not even trying to get y'all on a D's Nuts joke because, yeah, Wendy's Nuts. I get it. Wendy's Frosty cereal fucking blows. Fucking blows. To the point where I almost want to boycott Wendy's, but I ain't going to be like that. I blame Kellogg's. No fucking surprise. Kellogg's fucking sucks. You know what? Fuck that shit. Zero you digs. Zero fucking you digs. Zero you digs. So I see some funness going on in the chats, including David Pitts in the chat. Says, came in during the middle of this and I'm scared. David Pitts is someone I know personally. And the other day, I did 2 sketches for him. An original Tapeworm Boy piece and a Spider-Man piece. And he did a piece for me, and I'm going to show it off. David Pitts did this for me. And it says, have you read DFI yet, Robbie? So this is Mr. Fantastic calling me on the telephone, asking me if I've read DFI, which is Dick Fight Island, which is a manga that I would say 90% of the employees at my store think is the greatest thing ever. Let's comment on Young Davies' artwork here. I really like his artwork. I think there's a lot of promise. I've seen some of his artwork. He thinks really small of his talent. But if I just show this to you, you might think this was Howard Chaykin. You get what I'm saying? This kid is like 18 years old. Bruh, keep going. You have a bright future. You are a hell of an artist. That's Howard Chaykin-esque, bruh. If you don't know who Howard Chaykin is because you're 18, I understand. Look him up. It's a high compliment, my man. Anyway. Nowhere Bound says, in space, no one can hear you taste. I'm 99% sure that's rebranded Clear Pepsi. That's actually, yeah. It kind of tastes like Crystal Clear Pepsi. I really like Crystal Clear Pepsi. Yeah, that Wendy's cereal's gross. Talking about, in the ingredients, it says it puts some moon... Does it really? They can't say that, right? Because that's a lie. Doesn't say moon dust here. Might say that on the zero sugar. I mean, I guess moon dust has sugar in it, so it's not in this one. How's the Baconator flavored coffee? That sounds gross as shit, bro. I hate the coffee Coke. I don't like it. Zach's not allowed into Adam's comic book gang because he's getting kind of a snitch vibe from him. Richard says, consistent material, Rob. Love from Minnesota. Station. Has anything ever gotten a 0 you digs before? Surely, but I don't know if I've given something. Yeah. Oh, Nick is a proud owner of some Tapeworm Boy originals. I'm serious, though. Howard Chaykin vibes from David right there. Howard Chaykin vibes. Yeah, a little Dennis Cohen as well. We'll be covering some Marvel or Milestone in the 90s coming up soon. You know it. Anyway. Hell yeah. I keep hitting the wrong fucking button.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss that stack, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the
That's
bat.
right, that's
Put me
right,
in the
that's
ring,
right.
you'll go out in a bag, 'cause I see
Remix,
what I mean,
remix.
I'm
Come on,
getting to
come
the
on,
mad
come
light.
on.
Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I took the red pill. I know life's short, so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed
Take that
to
red
feel?
pill. Take the red pill. How's it make it feel? Does it make it feel ill? Maybe feel ill just to get the real. Yeah, feel the real. What is the real?
How's it supposed to feel?
Yo, how's it supposed to feel? Take the red pill. Focus on what's real. Real. How's it supposed
They
to
wanna say my
feel?
name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said.
How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? Feel. How's it supposed to feel? How's it feel when you take the red pill? When you know what's real? When you start to feel ill? How's it supposed to feel? This is a good song. I'm not gonna lie, I really like the song. It's gonna stay on here for a while. How's it supposed to feel? I really like that fucking song. I'm not gonna lie. That's sticking around. How's it supposed to feel? I really like that. I think the guy's name is Natiz or something. I want to share some shit in the PCP Army. That's a dope fucking song. All right, we got some more stuff. So here is an Eternian goddess that I got. Now, I don't really collect the Motu Origins line, but I use the Motu Origins line to placehold really expensive figures. Like I got the Ninjor, I got the Clamp Champ. Those are pieces, original ones, vintage ones I don't have. I got the Sorceress. So let's talk about this. The Tale of Two Sorceresses. This is a Tila figure, obviously, with green skin. What is this? Why did I feel the need to buy this? Well, in the original mini comics that were developed before the TV show, along with the action figure line. So I got this Dark Horse Comics omnibus that has all of the mini comics from Motu, She-Ra, New Adventures, all that shit. But in the very first comics, where we're explaining the origin of He-Man, it's way different than the movie or than the TV series. He is a barbarian dude who comes across a sorceress who gives him the power sword, the vest, like all this shit. Now the sorceress in the early days looks like that. It's Tila with green skin and the snake armor. This was a separate character. Okay? So there's the sword. Okay, it's not the power sword, it's the axe. The sword's there. The sword, the axe, the shield, and the harness. They all give them different powers. However, Tila is still there. So Tila is a separate character from the figure that has the armor. The snake armor. The snake armor is the original sorceress. And it says it right there. They call her the sorceress. Very interesting. Makes me think that was the original plan to do the Tila figure, then do a figure with the snake armor over it, because the Tila figure was reused as Evil Lyn. So anyway, there's the backstory. So to me, I love those original mini comics. So I had to get a Tila. I got it there on card. The card's messed up. Where's it messed up at? Oh, we're opening it. That's right. Who cares? We're opening this because we need this for the Motu collection. So we're going to check it out. Like I said, I don't buy much from Motu Origins. She's got the shield and the staff too. We'll worry about that later. But there you go. It's basically a Tila figure with the snake armor, but with the skin painted green, so that I have a version, an iteration of the original sorceress, which they call the Eternian goddess. So that's pretty dope. I'm glad I have that. That's going to be a proud display on the Motu section. Great figure, says Jelani. I have 2. Hell yeah. I love the Savage He-Man. I want to get a Savage He-Man from this line. I hope that this line's... Pixel Dan has talked about how people are rumoring that the line's coming to an end. I hope not, because there's still so many pieces to get. I would love a King Randor, because it's hard to get a vintage one of those. I would love more pieces that they never did. I would love a Wondar, the Wonder Bread He-Man. I would love a version of that. And I would love a Savage He-Man from the early mini comics. I just love that they did that. So that's a really cool kind of novelty piece to have in the Motu collection. Yeah, so that's what we got for you. This has been a great show. This is from the new line. This is Masters of the Universe Classics, so they're meant to be modern versions of the old school stuff. But this is a figure they never did in the original. But it is a figure represented by the original mini comics. Once again. And I've always found that fascinating, this original origin of He-Man. And I would love to see something based on that. No Prince Adam, none of that shit. As much as I like that stuff, it would be cool to see this version of He-Man. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys joining in tonight. Y'all been the best. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nun who had sex with the demon, but was raised by Professor Broom. Now he fights evil and monsters. Shit. And he fights with the man who's a fish named Abe. Now he fights with a fire starter named Liz. And an ectoplasmic mess named Johan. BPRD. Yeah, man, Hellboy. His name was Hellboy. He's a Malboy. Man, he loves Taco Bell, boy. He never goes to smell, boy. Let me tell you something. His name was Hellboy. Y'all been the best station. Love you. Improve yourself every single day. If you don't, Mr. Hellboy and Blaze on a come your way.